You could put an IV patch of Marvel just straight into my veins. You could do it with DC too. I just know more about the alternative.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes and Cold Brews. I'm Jim Sock Hancock, associate to Logs Blogs, with a special guest today, Papa LaBarbara, aka Nick, aka my husband, aka the person that was on my streams way in the beginning of my streams that we love to death. We got a really fun one for you today. If you like anything that you hear today, make sure to hit that sub button, like that video, right? Like the video. Then follow and subscribe wherever you hear podcasts.
And if you don't like it, keep that to yourself.
Yeah, and then like just like internal
Hate
rage,
watch.
and then like let the rage come out on your fingers on the keyboard in the comment section.
Watch
Send
out of
it-
spite.
Send a spiteful, aggressive reply to the Twitter update of when he posts the video. But then keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
No. Share the podcast though, right?
Share the podcast.
Because if you're correct and we suck, then you have more people that agree with you, right? So
and we do
Yeah,
read
yeah,
the
yeah,
comments
get the
too.
word out. Get the
You
word out.
gotta
yeah.
watch it to confirm the person's opinion.
Exactly. You have to show all 7 billion people on the
Or at least
planet
gets
to
views.
confirm their opinions. Yeah.
I
We
think
won't
we got a
stop
great
until
marketing
all
tool.
7 billion Americans. Whoa, 7 billion citizens
Not
of
yet,
the world
baby.
are
7
liked,
billion Americans.
follow, or sub to the channel because we live in the U.S. of A.
Is this
Oh.
hot take cold brews or hot takes hot mozzarella sticks, Tyler?
It's actually kind of like lukewarm mozzarella stick. It's not even like coming off. Like
Oh.
Ooh.
Ugh.
it's the farmer's thing, like the farmer rich mozzarella. I don't know. What
Farmersonly.com?
it's called. Is that a thing?
Yeah, what? I mean, like
Maybe you could change your
it's a
stream
meme.
name to like Hot Take Bits and Damp Mott Sticks.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
that doesn't activate my gag reflex at all.
if that does it, nothing will.
Sorry, I just looked
Nothing
up
will.
farmersonly.com.
You're
It-
farmersonly.com?
It's
Yeah.
a meme. I can't vouch if the actual thing is real, but I know the meme is real as a meme. Give me follow me on Farmers Only.
Oh,
Farmers only. City folk still don't get it.
Hey, I'm used to hanging out with heifers all day, honey. I don't care how big you are.
he texts me every morning. Anyway,
Why are we here today, Tyler?
so
Transition.
we're gonna transition away from fat jokes and any
Farmers.
mustache related jokes that anybody has or anything.
I got all my mustache jokes out before I logged on.
Oh, phenomenal! Yeah,
I just screamed
friend's
them
dad
to myself in a corner and was like, okay.
My
Like
friend's
a
dad
reasonable
called me
person,
Hitler
I
this
shaved
morning.
mine away.
He's like, "You look like
Wait.
Hitler." I was like, "This mustache is way too wide for Hitler."
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for shitting on the mustache, but yeah, that is a little out there.
I think it was more of a Charlie Chaplin kind of take.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a 70s porn star kind of vibe.
Oh,
More of a I would
would
let- More of a I'm not letting you around my kids kind of vibe.
Hancock, big cock. Oh, yeah, that too.
Hancock,
minute.
big stash. Hmm.
I got a phone call. I got to answer this one.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
So,
Oh, I muted. I wanted to hear it.
Oh, yeah, you mean
It's someone calling right now to shit on the mustache.
Tyler
Breaking. Breaking. We're getting word.
Logan, can I see you in the kitchen for a second?
Of course.
Shifton? Thank you for meeting me here.
Mhm.
I just find it a little unprofessional that he brought us all here today, and now he's got to go take a phone call,
Yeah.
a metaphorical phone call.
Motherfucker's definitely shorting GameStop right now. Bastard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh,
Hello.
okay. We can leave the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah.
We're back. We're back with
All right.
Tyler.
Marvel
Hey.
versus DC Day, baby. Do we think DC would ever be able to recover their franchise, their movie franchise, to become as big as Marvel is in terms of film? Do you think that it's even necessary
Who would like to talk first?
I'll go. So like
All right.
in raw objective terms, is it possible? Yes, but that's not fun.
That's not fun.
Is it going to happen? Probably not. um, I think they have the likelihood or the potential to reach a place that is comparable but not the same. But it's all in the moves they make, right? And if they continue to make the good moves when they make them and not make the bad moves, but they still can't seem to find that consistency.
Honestly,
But
I blame Zack Snyder.
uh
I think he just go ahead.
So I like Zack Snyder. I think he's got a formula that works very well. However, and I think he makes good films, and I think he makes decent enough films, and I think he makes films that that generate audiences and attraction and get people excited.
Slow-mo, baby.
Yeah. Just every now and then I get these feelings where like if every film you release needs to have the director's cut released for people to be convinced that it's good. I'm thinking there might be a few things you need to tweak, maybe change, maybe just reconsider. I have a lot of viewpoints on that, but I'll try to break them up so I don't just I don't stand on my soapbox and start screaming into the void. Oh, I prefer Marvel. And they're like, a lot of people will be like, oh, what's wrong with DC? I'm like, I love DC too. Nothing's wrong with DC. I think just based on my patterns of exposure and what I consume and what I like, it's more often been Marvel than DC. And that's it. And that's just my only take. Like you could you could put an IV patch of Marvel just straight into my veins. You could do it with DC too. I just know more about the alternative. So
do you know more about Marvel and you're more of a Marvel head because you've been so ingrained with the film as well? I know that you have read a lot of comics.
I read a lot of it before some of the movies came out, and that's not me trying to like gatekeep any of this shit. Like, however you got exposed to it is fantastic. As long as you're enjoying it, like props to you. But like I just, like growing up, like I really liked Spider-Man and Iron Man, and like those were just there was Batman, but those were my base characters, and more of my base characters like getting me into the comics were from Marvel. So I just grew up reading more Marvel. Now I find myself following more of the writers and authors who travel back and forth from Marvel and DC.
Yeah, right.
So
a lot of intermingling there.
Yeah. And I think that's something people need to understand too. Like if a lot of writers will go back and forth between companies, and it's that's just how it be.
I mean, like Darkseid and all that entire pantheon is from Jack Kirby. Like
So
if you say Jack Kirby, I'm obviously typically talking about Marvel, but he literally wrote one of the most iconic DC villains, like, and that whole pantheon of characters, Yeah.
So I found myself, in terms of like reading the comics, I found myself shifting more from like, what company do I read more from, and then more so like which writer am I paying attention to more often now?
Okay.
Scott Snyder.
So
the god Scott Snyder.
So wrapping this around, and the problem is I'm going to keep wanting to talk about Marvel just because I'm like, I know more of Marvel.
Right.
There's more stuff from Marvel that I'm understanding and I enjoy and can talk more confidently about.
Right.
So, but DC is also in my veins as well. Patch, give me that sweet goodness in my veins.
I think it could be. I think it could be.
Sorry.
Oh, you're right. I think it could be easier for DC to catch up than I think people, lend off to be. Only because, they do have like very popular franchise comic book heroes like Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. Like they can catch up to them very quick. Yeah, the Flash very quickly. Like where Marvel, I had no idea who the fuck Iron Man was
before the movies were. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because they essentially, I'm pretty sure somebody made like a tier list of superheroes from the comics, and Iron Man was like C tier in terms of popularity.
I was gonna say he was like at best B tier before that.
Yeah.
Before, like,
something I like to always like say about like the MCU, right? Which is it's a compliment in retrospect, but like it's crazy to me if you like went back in time and you plucked somebody from 2008, right? And you told them, hey, guess what? Comic book movies are going to dominate the landscape in the future. A interconnected universe of films of a massive superhero team is going to be the film events of the year that everybody loves. They would instantly say, "Oh, Justice League." Yep. That's what they would say. Yeah. Every single person would say that. If you told them that the Avengers was going to be the highest grossing movie of all time, they would look at you and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" They would say you are insane. And it's not because Marvel comics haven't been popular; they've always been massively popular. It's just in terms of like also films beforehand, right? I mean, if we look at the Marvel versus DC film record before the MCU, I mean, DC has as actual good movies. The original Christopher Reeve Superman, The Dark Knight, like, you know, but the Marvel movies are a little
the Spider-Man trilogy, which was probably you know what? We can't sleep on Blade. The first
I love Blade.
Really,
Blade was
the
great.
first Blade, and like which I think got the X-Men started. So like the 2000s X-Men.
Oh, the X-Men was good too. That's right.
Yeah. And they were there, but I think
those were more accomplishments of the studios though at the time, right? Those weren't things that it wasn't like, because honestly, if we look at those movies too, they took great liability from the source material. Especially the X-Men series. At least in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I just wish it's such a small aesthetic thing. I just wish that they had the color in the costume, because then everyone just got the same stealth black suits, and
I think I think that's kind of a thing too. Is that, you know, it's when it comes to movies, you know, taking off and doing well. I think you know you got to look at the color schemes and stuff too, right? Like bright, vibrant colors, like Iron Man's suit, Thor's cape, like Spider-Man in general. Like it's a lot more appealing, I think, to the eyes of children. Where DC audience is more like,
wait,
what?
Wait, Superman and Wonder Woman are both blue and red.
No, I know, but I mean, like I basically I'm looking at like Batman stuff too, right? Like.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to mix Batman, who's like angsty, depressed. Oh, my parents are dead. Woe is me. Let me be the bad guy, right? And then to go from that to try and mix it in with Superman, who's like, I am literally a fucking alien, and then Wonder Woman, who is like, I'm Superman, but I have a lasso.
I think so. The solution to that was Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. The entire DC animated universe was Batman Beyond, the Batman animated series, the Superman animated series. Oh, they were so good.
I didn't think about those.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, and this was the point I wanted to make for like to answer the question. I'm like, if they could get that same level of like financial and critical acclaim hype, like in terms of like just consistency. I think that they could, and I think it's very, very possible. It's absolutely possible. But sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if they have to worry about like their cinematic universe like that, because their animation is so good, and
even their animated movies now, like
currently, they're killing Marvel.
Slap.
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I'm pulling my hair out at Marvel animated stuff. I'm just like this.
I've seen a couple of them.
I'm scared for the What If series. I'm terrified to see how that'll look. Absolutely terrified.
They just haven't. They haven't.
I don't know what it. I think, and I guess this is another question too, right? Is like, what do you think it'll take for DC's film verse to make it as successful as Marvel's universe?
I think fattest bong rip you can imagine.
I think yes. I think somebody needs. I think they need their own Kevin Feige. Plain and simple. You know, Marvel has had this person directing the content direction, right? Saying like, okay, you know, every movie's gonna be its own thing. Every character's gonna have their own story. but here is our tone, here is our themes, here is our ideals. Every movie will reinforce them to some extent, right? Every movie will be building on every other movie in a small way, even if it's literally just the way we tell jokes, right? If it's just that quick Marvel one line, though, even if it's just that, that will be there in every single movie, and that will draw people in. And also just having somebody who sees the end goal in sight, right? Like I believe the entire time Kevin Feige saw Infinity War and Endgame, right? Like not like literally as they were, but like this is what we're going towards. DC needs that too.
I think they do need a set of structure like that, but and I'm also saying this as a compliment to the directors and creative teams of the people in the Marvel movies. Every time there has been a decision made by the creative team or like a director that the higher ups have generally been opposed to, is always the best part of that particular project.
Very true.
The higher ups did not want the Guardian soundtrack in there. They did not want that to be a part of the film at first. And that was like one of the highlights of that fucking movie. Ragnarok, I think, took like a step away from some conventional tropes of how Thor was being written, and like they moved, and that was like one of the best parts of Ragnarok. And I agree with you just in the sense of like, I think when they look at creative teams, I think similar to how I feel like DC needs to branch out and look into other heroes other than fucking Batman. I think that maybe we need to not focus so much on what Zack Snyder can do, because there's a whole bunch of other people with a lot of creative expertise and a lot of great like storytelling abilities. I don't know what that was. That could make a successful trilogy or make a successful part of a cinematic universe. I also think because DC's handled like multiverse stories so well, if they just wanted to say fuck it, let's just make a bunch of what if movies and universes. Let's not worry about like cinematic continuity. Let's just tell good stories with superheroes as they are, and we could do like weird alternate universes and like not really stress about that.
I haven't watched it yet, but like what the CW did with the Arrowverse was really cool. Cool.
Matt Reeves' Batman. I'm so fucking pumped for that. And again, but also
where does it fit in? Who knows?
And I know it's like Batman, and I just said like they have plenty of other superheroes to choose from.
Give us Batman, though.
Batman. I think like Batman's gonna have to kick off this universe if
I disagree with that.
If it's gonna have to happen. What do you? Who do you think? So what's what is the one superhero that you think would need to have the first initial movie for a kickoff into a new universe?
For DC?
For DC.
Plastic Man. No.
Who's like that Colonel Condiments guy from DC? Is that a real thing?
Wasn't it Color Man that had like a bunch of different like he had like dots on him?
There's Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
Kite Man.
Or Slipknot, the man who could climb anything.
He was in Suicide Squad.
He was in Suicide Squad. Why are we talking more about the man who could climb anything with such on-screen memorable performances, such as punching a woman in the face and then scaling that building
and then getting his head blown off?
Yeah,
he was there to prove a point.
I didn't understand.
Misogyny gives you nowhere. Misogyny gets you nowhere.
Yeah, they were like, oh, how do we introduce this character, you ask? Refer to him as the man that could climb anything and have him just punch a woman in the face because misogynistic comedy. She had a mouth on her.
That's a big thing that I don't like about the Big Bang Theory. But
I was in tears. I think I almost left the theater when I first saw that. I was like, this is.
Well, his entire character in that movie was to show off what happens when they disobey, right? That's why they showed him that, because it's the Suicide Squad, and that's anybody who knows their backstory. If they disobey the Amanda Waller's directive, their head blows up because of a bomb in their head.
Why they gotta be the man that can climb anything?
I'll be right back. I gotta. Nick is frozen for me again.
Okay.
Oh no.
You're perfect.
There we go.
Wait, okay, and you're back. Okay, are we good? We still recording everything?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay.
Are we looking?
Also, too, right? Why is he like the man that could climb anything? But it's because of his knot tying, right? That's why they call him Slipknot. It's because he ties knots with rope.
He ties knots.
But I'm pretty sure there's things you can't climb with rope. Like there's definitely stuff you can't get up, right? Like there's got to be like a perfectly smooth surface.
Not when you're the man that can climb anything.
Oh, it's just coming back down. The wall's completely smooth. It's coming back down. It won't stick to anything.
Dude, I don't know.
He's probably got some, like, I don't know, Gorilla Glue rope. I never underestimate the man.
There's an adhesive on the rope. Let's go. We're going.
That's what I wanted to do. That's what I want in, honestly, a superhero. Just
So I think, actually, contrary to what Marvel did, right? They hyper focused on Iron Man first and then expanded outward.
Yeah.
I think DC can do the opposite. Although everyone criticizes that move, right? Because that is what they did and it failed, with Justice League. But I think where DC shines the hardest is the team ups. Well, team ups and then like the individual stories that go so hard, right?
Yeah.
But I think it would be better if they were to like try and launch with Justice League and get like first. They have to not make a shitty Justice League movie for one.
I think I genuinely think they scrambled with making Dawn of Justice.
They did.
I think
Bob Iger's making billions of dollars a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I like Justice League. It wasn't good, but I like Justice League.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is like, as fun as Marvel is, as good as Marvel is. I mean, so my background is I'm definitely more DC oriented. I got hooked on the Batman animated series really, really young, and the Superman animated series, and then
Batman
I was ready
Beyond
to
for me. Big Batman Beyond guy.
Yeah. Then Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, like that was where my hooks got into comic stuff for the very first time. So I was always more attached to the DC side. I still love Marvel, love Marvel characters, but
yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm like. That's just like I said, like, when I talk with people about which one I prefer, it's more so like, which one did I consume more of, and which one
exactly.
It has nothing to do with, like, I look at DC and I'm just like,
get out of here, trash.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, sick. It's more, it's more like ignorance. It's more like I have more of an ignorance towards DC, just because I know less. But that's okay.
I think they need to.
That's just more to learn.
I think DC needs
more for the IV patch.
I think DC needs to refocus a lot on different things. Like, let's look at their CG as an example compared to like the CG of Iron Man, the first one. Even look at
listen, Man of Steel is a beam struggle. Okay, we have to give props there.
No, I really enjoyed Man of Steel as much as I don't like the ending of him killing. Sorry, spoilers for Man of Steel. I don't know when this came out, but when he fucking killed Zod. It was Zod, right?
Palpatine came back. Yeah,
and then he was like, "I'm gonna make you stronger." Yes, Mark Zuckerberg. Yes.
So like actually, I think you'll both find this interesting. I don't know if you know this, but Zack Snyder is a big fan of Dragon Ball Z.
Okay,
and
that makes total sense after Man of Steel.
He's incorporated a lot of beams. Like, there's been other beam struggles in his movies that people have pointed out, and like, it was like some interview where he was like, "I always wanted to put a beam struggle into a movie," or something like that. And there is one when they do the eyes. They literally fight with the beams.
That's how I want to look into my lover's eyes. Like, I want that, like, eye contact intensity. Fuck yeah, and then someone slaps my neck.
Fuck yes, melt me, daddy.
No.
I do agree with Tyler. I think not from the creative aspect, but in terms of like development and production, there have been a lot of projects, especially Flash, that have just been in like development hell, and just nothing happens with it. And then like I just remember they like released all these movies, and then suddenly it was like, what happened? what's going on, and like actors were leaving, and then writers were leaving, and it happens time to time, and it's part of the process.
I think it's a lack of leadership at there's no there. I mean, maybe not even like rawly as like in the movies themselves. On the production side, there's no vision, right? It's like it's not like all right, guys.
Yeah, Vision's a Marvel character anybody.
No, he's dead, but
So
WandaVision. Everybody watching that right now? Actually,
no. I'm actually going to start tonight. I wanted a few episodes.
It's good. It's really good.
I watched the last episode
really
this
good.
morning.
Oh, you're caught up, Tyler?
I'm caught up, baby.
I am the only one not caught up here. This is odd.
I know.
It's getting real now. But
ask me where I'm at with The Mandalorian, though. Season
where are you
2,
at with The
episode
Mandalorian?
2. I'm like stuck on episode 2. I just haven't found time to commit to it because Katie is essentially the one that dominates the TV because I'm not down there a lot. So I well, essentially, yeah. I go down and it's like always either The Big Bang Theory, which I make her change, or it's
she watches The Big Bang Theory.
Tyler, you have I think
I gotta kill it there, right?
It's time to get out. She's watching Big Bang. It's time to leave.
I was talking to her and she's like, my mom likes it, and I was like, and I will pretend to like it in front of your mom, but I'm gonna let you know that this show is absolute dog shit. She's like, what do you mean? And I go, bazinga. Bazinga.
Put me on this podcast next time you get, and regardless of what the question is, I'm just gonna mute you and just go off about why I think The Big Bang is just ass. But that'll be another conversation.
Sorry, excuse me. First hot take of this episode. Maybe this is too far. I almost called it Bazinga. The Big Bang Theory is blackface for nerds, in my opinion.
Whoa!
Wow.
I mean, obviously,
I can't not agree with you though. That's the worst part.
Obviously, it does not have the cultural and racist undertones, and it's not like as detrimental to nerds. Not at all. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying like that idea, right? Of like
you do realize the most oppressed group is gamers, right? Not nerds.
Gamers rise.
Right? The average joke in Big Bang Theory will be like, oh, that's just like that time when Batman worked on the flux capacitor and then he had to go do the time travel with the ninjas. Cue laugh track. Like it's not even.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of references slapped on top of each other.
And I feel like
nerds do not talk like that.
Like an expired cold cut Pulp Fiction sandwich.
Yeah,
and I feel like
culture.
When they talk about like physics stuff as like a joke.
Yeah, nerds don't talk like that.
The laugh track is literally there to tell you that was meant to be a joke and you should laugh at it. And that's why I don't like it, because of that. And I think laughing at Howard's misogyny is fucking ridiculous. Laughing at his inability to escape his mother's house, yeah, that's funny. But when he's like, yeah, I expect my wife to do everything for me. And then Bernadette's like,
I haven't watched enough to even know what this is. Oh my god.
Yeah, Bernadette's like, excuse me? And everyone's like, ah, there's the laugh track. And it's like, that's... I was like,
well,
that's so
if you want to know like about the behind production on that show, it's a Chuck Lorre bit. So he's the guy who created 2.5 Men, which good show. I'm not gonna. I always enjoyed 2.5 Men, despite Charlie Sheen's problems.
Yeah, I like it too.
But Chuck Lorre is one of the network television is so bad. I'm sorry if you're first hearing this and you love network TV. You get better taste. I'm sorry. Network TV is so fucking bad.
Like The Office, and like every other white person.
Like, I mean, The Office is one of the times it was good, but like, literally what he did with Big Bang Theory was just copy and paste. He's like, okay, these are the jokes I make. These are the character archetypes we have. I'm just gonna transplant that to a nerd aesthetic. That's literally all he did.
Yep.
And it's and they do that for a million shows. That I mean, which it makes money. So I guess what it is. But like, I have no respect for network television anymore.
I think the only shows that I'll watch right now are ones made by Michael Schur.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's got he co-produced The Office. He made The Good Place. He made Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're very good pedigree.
Yeah, I think he's right now he's on a hot streak of TV shows to watch, and I am only
some
interested
hardcore
really
shit.
right now in watching shows that he's interested in or that he's a part of. But you know what else? To kind of like wrap back really quick to why I don't like Zack Snyder. He doesn't even read the source material most of the time when he makes these comic book movies.
Excuse you, have you not seen the shot from The Dark Knight Returns in Batman v Superman where he's on the building? That's ripped from the comic.
I think
have you seen Watchmen?
Did Zack Snyder make Dark Knight Returns?
So no. Dark Knight Returns is a beloved, heralded comic story, which is it's.
Did you mean? Pardon me. I'll be right back.
Nick's about to flex all of his fucking comics right now. It's gonna be a pain in my ass.
Oh, he has it. He has the cover. My man has the cover.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Nick has a lot of comic memorabilia stuff.
So I'm only going to defend Zack Snyder on this point, right? He's known for recreating moments from the panels on screen. This man's got it. This man's got it.
Did you mean Frank Miller's Batman?
Yes. Yeah. Literally, like when people
say, which issue this was.
I also have another hot take for Nick, actually, after I finish this point. People like to point to that as the de facto Batman fighting Superman storyline. And it's just a what if, too. That's the best part about it. Well, like, it's not literally a what if series, but, it's a non-canon story, I guess. But, no, I would say Zack Snyder is very good at recreating, especially if you've seen Watchmen. Go watch Watchmen. I mean, I know a lot of Watchmen fans get a little fucking prissy because he leaves out like 3 scenes, but the man literally just recreates it panel for panel.
I've read, you know Watchmen, what? I think I was thinking of the wrong producer.
Oh, really? Well, no. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, he's the guy who did Superman and Batman v Superman.
I mean, Zack Snyder loves Frank Miller. Like, I think what it is too is like I think Frank Miller's a great writer, but there is a level of pretentiousness to him.
Oh my god!
When he writes, like, I'm dark and gritty TM, and I feel like a lot of stereotypes about being like, it's good because it's dark and gritty come a lot from Frank Miller writing.
It's spitting facts right now.
Yeah, like the most recent thing I read about Zack Snyder was like, I think someone asked him what Daredevil story he would like to write for, and he's just like, oh, I would love to do the story Elektra Lives Again, which was written by Frank Miller. And I think part of the story surrounds like Daredevil actually killing someone, which part of Daredevil's trope is like, yeah, I'll put you in a coma, but I'm not going to fucking kill you.
What's that? Is it a dime bag? Come on, Eric, the superhero.
And it seems like it's nothing. Like, Zach's great, but I don't know why he's so obsessed with like writing stories about characters who didn't normally kill are now killing. And I want the larger scheme of like the movies coming out to just not have that take, but also I know that wouldn't actually happen. It'd be like, okay, if Zack Snyder wants to write Batman, which I think he should,
he's always wanted
go
to.
For it. Yeah,
I mean, if you watch Batman v Superman, he wanted to write a Batman movie.
Yeah,
he wanted. Watching that, I'm like, oh, he just wants to do Batman.
Yeah,
but he couldn't because Nolan did Dark Knight, so he couldn't get Batman right away.
Yeah. I'm just. What was your hot take you wanted?
Oh shit. It's a whole nother tangent, but essentially, I think that this is a hot take with DC nerds. I think that Dark Knight Returns is not the best Batman fighting Superman story. I think it's the Injustice storyline.
Oh,
not the game, the game, the actual comic. The Injustice comic
I can get behind that.
So fucking good.
I can get behind that.
I read that comic.
A lot of people haven't.
I haven't read it, but like I'll believe your take on it.
It's so. Have you played the game though? At least.
I stopped playing Injustice. What?
I watched all of the cutscenes from Injustice 2 as like a movie.
Oh,
like I watched all of the cutscenes because I was like,
two's bad. No, the first one. The first one's a lot better.
Tyler, you know how I'd get with Dragon Ball FighterZ?
Yes. You salty bitch.
Yeah. Dimitri and I would play Injustice.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about this.
10 times worse on my end. So I had to stop playing Injustice 2 because I was just basically cyberbullying myself into being bad and then playing people who were getting good and I was not getting good. Injustice 2 was sort of like a gaslighting partner that I was engaged with for a long time, which I thought I was having a fun time, but so much bad shit was happening to me and it was just killing me inside on a daily basis playing that game online that I one day realized I'm like, I need to not play this anymore. And I have yet to go back to it.
So basically, the first Injustice, the storyline is right. Our heroes that we know and love are pulled into an alternate universe where Superman has become a demagogal dictator, taking over, and Batman is leading a resistance against him, right? And that's the lay ground for this fighting game. They made a prequel comic that takes place in that universe 5 years before the game, and basically tells you what led to the situation.
Okay.
And to me, in my opinion, it is the best story of Batman and Superman like getting into a conflict because it's the most realistic, it is the most heartfelt, and it is the most like ideologically like realistic between the two characters.
So,
because go ahead.
Was the comic similar to what happened in the game where
No, it's a prequel to the game.
Right, I know, but like wasn't it like I really don't want to like spoil anything.
It's like 8 years old. Go ahead.
Okay. Is the prequel involving the Joker killing?
Yes.
Okay. The Joker forcing Superman to make like the kill, right?
The most famous panel is Superman putting his hand through his chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Joker like
Joker's like, finally, I got you, bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah. So basically, the beginning of this comic, is so fucking good because, and this is something that I think DC can uniquely do over Marvel. Is I believe DC can start in the middle of the story because everybody knows these fucking characters. Everybody, right? You can start with Superman, like unlike Marvel, where we had to see Iron Man's growth because who the fuck is Iron Man, right? I feel like, honestly, in my opinion, much like the Justice League cartoon, how it just picks up, right? Like they're already heroes. I think we can do a Justice League like that. Just like, Superman's around, Batman's around.
Yeah, I mean that was a big thing with Marvel too. They like after like Phase 1, they were like, we don't need any more origin stories. Like
but I'm saying DC could just do that out the gate.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like I think because
I've watched the Waynes die too many times.
Literally, the same shit over and over again.
Fucking tired of watching it.
I will say, Homecoming, that Spider-Man stuff, they were kind of like, we've seen Uncle Ben die. That was the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I put Spider-Man into the tier because, like, if objectively, if we're talking about who sold the most comics, I think it's like literally Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like that's like the top 4. I think.
Yeah.
Like I put Spider-Man on a pedestal above all of like Marvel, and like because he's in that he's like the second like most selling comic character of all time. Yeah, exactly. You don't need a Spider-Man story. You don't need a Batman story. You don't even need a Superman story, really. Origin story. But again, so Justice the comic begins with Batman and Superman already being established heroes. The Justice League is already like hundreds of members big at this point too. Like we're like deep into DC lore.
I don't want to do this right now, but actually, Superman has the most comics sold, and then it goes Batman, and then Spider-Man.
Really? Oh, Superman's still number 1?
Yeah, 600 million. This was as of 2015, so I don't know.
I was gonna say I knew So the last time I saw the Superman was number 1, I just assumed Batman overtook him. But yeah, wait. So it's Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, from 2015 at least.
Yeah. But like, because I mean, today's kids really don't like Superman as much. Y'all are sleeping, but
there's some good Superman stories out now. I used to not like Superman. I actually used to hate Cap until after like there was something happened with how they writ him after like 2005 and 2006 where I was Hydra. Okay, now I can get behind this character.
Remember when they fucking made Captain America Hydra, and then they like 2 issues after they were like, psych, nope, reverse that. Of course, that was a joke.
Just like, what the fuck?
I followed that storyline. No, somebody used a cosmic cube to edit the timeline, so they made Steve like get inducted into Hydra before he was picked up as Captain America. It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, that was like one of the few storylines like that I kind of like paid attention to recently.
Same.
All right, let's.
Same here, yeah. And I was like,
that's
ooh.
a whole other.
All right, so Nick is frozen again, but I'm going to just let it play out and see if he comes back.
See if it works.
Can you still hear his audio?
Yeah, actually, I'm just fine.
Okay.
Oh,
but yeah. So
how does my face look? Does it look like it's in pain?
It's beautiful.
Great. Maybe what if I leaving came back? Let's try that.
Okay. Well, no, because him leaving fixed it last time, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you leaving and coming back, it'll fix it this time. It'll fix it for me too.
All right.
Let me try something.
Oh.
What happened?
On our screen, it's split because I have it set up like 3 different windows. So like you see like my head in my window, and then like my arm in
so for
Nick's window.
For me, you and I were up top, and Nick was below. I was different for you.
No, that's how it was. But since Nick is gone, I still had that third window open, so it's just splitting everything. Maybe I can share my screen. You can see it, but no, never mind. It won't look good. Okay. But yeah, it's super funny. Like
I have to drag him back in.
Hey, buddy.
I forgot to drag you back in. Turn your camera back on.
I was just like, all right, check out what's the mix up, and then I just
So the reason I think that I'm gonna be real quick on this Injustice tangent now because we've gone on too long with it. It starts off with like Batman and Superman. They're best friends already, right? They're already like several years into their career, and it literally starts with Superman is like comes to Batman on a roof at night, right? Just a normal nightly patrol or whatever for Batman.
Wait, what story is this?
Injustice.
The Injustice comic.
Oh, there's Injustice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yes, and then Superman is like hyperactive. He's like not normal. He's excited, and he says he's like to Batman, "I got great news to tell you." And in typical Batman fashion, Batman's like, "Lois is pregnant, isn't she?"
Holy crap, Lois!
Damn,
Superman's getting it in
somehow. Because he's Batman, he knew. It's like, how'd you know? He's like, you're acting very different, Clark. But it's such a it sets it up so well, right? That like it's setting up this idea that like these two men are like brothers essentially. They know each other so well, and then it all goes so fucking wrong.
There's I forget the name of the storyline, but like it's Batman, Superman, Lois, and Catwoman, and they're all going out on a double date, and they're kind of like dressed as each other. I gotta find the name of the issue, but that's my side piece.
Okay.
Continue with the,
No, I was mostly done. I just and like overall, what the Injustice comic does is it creates because we know Batman's whole thing is he won't kill, right? His hard line against that. And essentially the whole idea is like the Joker tricks Superman into killing because he tricked Superman to kill Lois and their unborn child. Super dark. And that's the whole thing is like, the ideological differences. Once that switch is flipped in Superman, he goes full dictator, right? Because he's like, well, I killed the Joker. Now that'll never happen again. It was a good thing, right, Bruce? And Batman's like, no,
you
fucked up, homie. And Superman's just like, no, I'm making the world safer. And then he literally goes, oh god, I'm gonna tear up. He goes to Arkham, right? Like literally to kill everyone in Arkham. He's like, no, we're ending this. This will stop the problems, Bruce. We need to protect the world. And basically, it starts to it's basically DC's Civil War. It starts to de facto turn into alliances and who's with who. And like it's like Batman, Nightwing, and like a few other heroes. Superman's got like Cyborg and like some other people on his side. And spoiler alert, Dick Grayson gets killed by Damian Wayne in the fight.
That's hot.
And honestly, this is my favorite Batman, like one of my favorite Batman moments, like involving a Robin, is Batman picks up Dick Grayson and says, "My son is dead."
Damn.
Like, and if you understand, that's like, because it's not even his real son. I mean, it's not his biological
his
son.
Biological son killed Dick Grayson, and Batman's like, "My son's dead."
Oh yeah. And for the rest of it, he completely denounces Damian and hates him too. Yeah, it's I agree.
Fuck Damian.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a Nightwing household. Fuck Damian.
This is a Nightwing household. We'll even take Tim Drake over that motherfucker.
Oh, Tim Drake's great too. Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Nightwing.
I like Jason Todd more as the Red Hood than a Robin.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, Jason Todd was so unpopular. You know how he died,
Yeah,
right?
because they did a vote. They had the
They voted him
fucking
off.
readers vote. And
R.I.P.
I
That
love
was before
shit.
troll culture too, right?
Yeah,
that was like in the 80s.
Yeah,
When
they
people
were like being serious. They're like, no,
yeah,
we
they
want
were
this
they're like,
fucker
no,
dead.
we fucking hate this kid.
People were serious about their shit posts back then.
Back then, they
People
were just
very
posts.
serious.
But that's my tangent about why Injustice is a better Batman versus Superman story than Dark Knight Returns. Because Dark Knight Returns is literally just Superman serving the government now, and Batman's like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like that's literally all it is. There's no deeper meaning. Where Injustice is literally Superman grieving the loss of his unborn child and wife, is trying to make the world safer, whereas Batman is trying to uphold his truest of true ideology of not killing people. It's so much more ideologically sound to me than Dark Knight Returns.
I think
not the shit on Frank Miller, but
I think that Injustice is a better Civil War than Marvel.
I haven't read Civil War, so I cannot comment. Well, the movie definitely. I know.
Oh yeah, I mean the movie compared to the comic is dog shit. Because
from what I understand, the movie is the comic is heartbreaking. From what I understand,
it is very sad.
Storm divorces Reed Richards in it. From what I know, right?
I really like MCU Civil War. I think they just kind of You don't like Civil War?
Oh, I love Civil War. That's my favorite.
Okay, here's the thing. If I turn my brain off, right? If I shut my brain off, haha, pretty colors fights. But that's the
whole MCU, bro.
Some of the movies do have substance, I would say. But like to me, Civil War had no consequence at all. At all. They're literally laughing and cracking jokes as they're fighting each other, which is supposed to be over something serious. Dude, I hate you.
Baron Zemo is the reason why they lost in Infinity War, because they broke up the Avengers and then they're all disbanded.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, if you're watching just Civil War, right? If Infinity War is not out yet, that movie is dog shit. Because it's literally
not at all.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
It is one of the worst MCU movies.
Whoa!
Really? Holy shit! We gotta.
Okay. Well, I'll say this, right? It's better than like the bad ones, right? It's better than those. Like it's better than Thor.
You're gonna put Civil War below the Dark World?
No.
I was gonna say that is.
Wait a minute.
It's extremely well made. It's just like poorly written, in my opinion.
I think it was rushed.
I think it was literally just we're fighting because we're fighting. Like it's not, and then there's no consequence to it though. They crack jokes and they just laugh it off the whole fucking time.
I disagree.
Those clips have been part of the Marvel formula for like
fuck you, buddy.
Movie.
Yeah, but typically they crack jokes to like relieve tension when like someone's trying to fucking commit genocide, right? It's like if we don't stop this guy, bad stuff happens.
There's not one quip in the last half hour of that movie. Like I recognize that. I do agree with you in the terms of the bullshit consequences where like they have this like heartbreak friendship, and then Steve suddenly like, sorry, I was just really upset about Bucky. If you
call
need
me on
let
my
me
cell
know.
phone. Yeah, call me on my cell phone.
Yeah. I'm with you there where it was just like, oh, like all this shit happened, and then Steve's like, Mobby. Like it. You know, like I still think
it was built on a misunderstanding. It was built on a misunderstanding. That's one of the biggest ways to tilt me in storytelling is like when
I'm sorry, all of Shakespeare is just you didn't talk to who, and now 5 people are dead. So like I feel like the cornerstone of writing is just based off of who's not talking to who.
So I think
Shakespeare is a hack. Other hot take today.
I think what I like about Civil War is the end of Baron Zemo with Black Panther when like
that was good. Black Panther's introduction.
Yeah, and fucking Zemo's like, I'm gonna kill myself. My job is done. And Black Panther's like stops bullet with hand and is like, no, you aren't, Chief.
No. We don't do that to you.
Yeah. I think Zemo is like the best villain to come out of all these movies. I will put him on top of Thanos in some respects.
You are fucking insane. No,
I will put him on top of Thanos. He did what he wanted to do. Powerless. He had a book And
in
like,
terms of accomplishment,
he had a book and was
He
bilingual
had a
and took
book?
down the Avengers because of that. He had a book and was bilingual and took down the Avengers.
You know what I
terms
think?
Split them up.
Let's
In
just
terms
throw.
of success, I agree, right?
And then he didn't get greedy. He was like, I did what I had to do. I'm going to dip. I'm not looking for praise, right? I mean, we'll see what happens with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I guess he's going to be the villain there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's not going to get greedy in that respect.
excited.
I mean, I'm pretty pumped about that.
I hope that that series is just them trying to chase down Zemo and Zemo just being one step ahead of them until the end.
Can I say I love Falcon in the MCU.
Trash.
I'm a big fan.
Trash.
He's one of the best Avengers.
He shouldn't have gotten Cap Shield. Trash.
What? No.
My motherfuckers never read the comics, Nick. Motherfuckers never read the comics.
But I've said, oh wow, look at the flip here. Like Tyler and I were like, I was like ready to be like, what do you feel about Civil War? And I'm like, how do you feel about Falcon?
Hey,
that's
ready for this? Bucky's a shitty character in the MCU.
I mean, what, dude?
Oh, I don't have memories. Oh, metal arm. I kill people. Oh, that's it. What else is there? What's his motivations? What's he trying to do? Fucking man's got nothing. Falcon's got all. What? Honestly, I would say probably.
Nick, turn your camera off and turn it back on for me.
Oh, okay.
Just turn it off and
I'm
turn it
gonna
back
say probably. Honestly, if I had to pick like my top 3 MCU movies, I don't know. I can't say which one's number 1, but I know for a fact in the top 3 is Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier, not because of Falcon.
No,
because of Bucky, homie.
No, because of Falcon.
When Bucky grabs Cap's shield, it like mid-throw.
Cool. Oh yeah. What does that say about his character? Nothing. Oh,
he's badass. What do you mean?
Okay.
He doesn't even have a vibranium arm, but it stopped Cap's shield from going through his body.
It is vibranium.
It's not vibranium until he gets to Wakanda.
I fucked up my bobblehead.
No, it is.
I'm upset.
Wakanda fixed it after Civil War, Tyler.
No, I know, but that was Winter Soldier. He didn't. He got an upgrade during.
No. It was the same metal. It got.
Why didn't he get a bionicle arm?
It was damaged. It's the same metal. Or else it wouldn't have stopped it. Because in Civil War, his arm gets fucked up. Remember? But again, I'm not saying in the comics, right? I know people like Bucky a lot. I'm just saying Bucky.
I read the Winter Soldier story. That was fantastic.
I'm just saying in the MCU, Bucky has had very little character work done on him. Very little. He is very much just I'm Steve's friend. That's his entire character arc. I'm Steve's friend. Where Falcon came to Cap when no one else would. Falcon was there. Falcon's a true homie. Falcon's like, oh wait, what? They're saying you're a terrorist on the news. You want me to ride into fucking SHIELD headquarters in DC and help you overturn a conspiracy of which you have no evidence? All right, I'm in, homie. Like Falcon. Sam is a fucking ride or die motherfucker. All right.
Bucky's arm in the MCU before Civil War was made out of titanium.
No, I never heard that. Okay.
Sure. I guess it makes sense. I will say, I know everyone thought Bucky should deserve the shield. I don't think Bucky wants the shield. I think Bucky's tired. I think he's been through some shit. I think the man just wants to retire. I don't think he wants a title like that.
I think so too.
I think the only title he wants is retired.
But as much as I do think that Falcon was more deserving of the shield, but I think it would have been more. I think it would have been a better opportunity for Bucky to have more of a redemption story by having to become Captain America.
Well, that's why I'm excited for
the show,
because I sort of agree with you in the sense where like I feel, and this was my disappointment with like the conclusion of all this too. Well, I guess conclusion, but like in terms of the movies, because like there was this build up with the first Avenger, the Winter Soldier, Civil War, and there's this build up with like Steve and Bucky's relationship, and then suddenly in Infinity War and Endgame, it was just kind of like, I'm gonna miss you, bud, but now I'm gonna go back in time for this lady.
I'm gonna
and I fucked her niece.
All the shit that happened to you. For 30 years, my arm here is like.
Hey, I need some of that.
Yeah, you're still frozen for me, Nick. But
some of that.
Okay, hold on. What if I?
Did him doing that fix it?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, if he turns it off, turns it back on, it's fine.
Oh, sweet. So like this was me gesturing as like I have a shoulder on a Sebastian Stan's hand, on his my hand on his shoulder. Anatomy can be hard sometimes.
Anatomy is hard sometimes, dude.
And yeah, I'm hoping, and I feel like comic books. I'm glad.
Nick, I'm sorry. You didn't freeze 100%, but the motion is you clapping nonstop. It's super funny.
Can someone clip that?
I'm gonna send a video of it on my screen.
Amazing.
Keep talking.
I will wait for this video. My biggest take is, well, here's another take. I feel like, not to be too much of a capitalistic simp, but
damn.
But I'm glad TV shows have a bigger budget to do these comic book stories in TV, because I feel like comic books and storytelling and creative writing, I feel like comic books were meant to be in the TV medium, not necessarily the movie medium. I love the movies, and
case in point, all the Netflix shows.
Daredevil, I think, phenomenal.
Oh, Daredevil's phenomenal.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I only watched the first 2 seasons.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got good. It took 3 seasons for me to like it.
I got 2 seasons in and couldn't commit to it. I stopped.
We're gonna fight. Ooh.
Logan's like,
really?
Ooh, pick up the fucking Dukes. Ooh.
First two seasons were the best. It went down. Well,
they had no storyline the first
two
season.
Seasons were asshole, and then season 3 got good.
There was absolutely no direction with the first season. They had no idea where they were going.
I'm sorry. Were you not moved by the story in season 2 of Sky's father trying to find her for fucking 20 years, and his character also shout out to him.
I forgot Agent Cooper. Yeah,
Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks.
He was the highlight of that season. I will say he was the highlight of that.
For me, season 2 is the best that show ever got because of his story. Right? It literally, his whole story is this whole thing where, because of a genetic experiment, he becomes a physical monster. Right?
Oh, Jekyll and Hyde. That whole shit. Yeah,
but what they did was so fucking good with that. Right? Is where him and Daisy's mother. Right? They lose their daughter, and then he loses her too, and then the whole story is over 20 years. He's been trying to fight, he becomes a physical monster, but he's just a guy trying to fucking put his family back together. And then the real monster was the mother who was actually trying to hurt people. Oh, it's so good. And also too, the whole like adoptive father stuff with Coulson and Daisy just got me so hard. Seasons 1 and 2 were just
that is a good relationship they have too. Yeah.
And also the entire storyline with Ward too It was. I mean, okay. So in three, it reaches its apex.
I think Winter Soldier saved that show. Since they have to follow since they have to follow the repercussions, them following the repercussions of Winter Soldier got that show back on track for me.
That was so fun to watch, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. side of that too. Wait, because they're showing you like the real world like collapse of the entire intelligence community, because S.H.I.E.L.D. was like above the CIA. It's like, it's like every single spy agency is like, what the fuck do we do? Everybody we trusted is no longer trustable.
I think that's why I like Civil War a lot though too, because it showed you real life implications of what happens after the fights. Because they were like, look at Sokovia, it went to the fucking ground. You killed thousands of people.
And I agree. And if like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did that too, right? When Daisy signed the Sokovia Accord, that was pretty cool. That's pretty progress.
Yeah, I didn't watch that far. I couldn't commit to it.
My issue with Civil War.
Komodo hype.
My issue with Civil War is that the movie just plays it all for laughs. The movie just plays it all for a fight and a laugh.
I don't think it does. I think it's one of the more serious like MCU movies. And
no, Age of Ultron I think is the worst in terms of comedy.
Yeah, I think Age of Ultron it does that. I feel more uncomfortable when they do that. Like, I know they have quips in Civil War, and I will agree with you. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, that threw off the vibe. But I feel like Age of Ultron has
wow.
But a lot of quips or like jokes from Civil War paid off in Avengers. Like when Hawkeye and Black Panther were going at it, and Hawkeye was like, my name's Clint, and Black Panther was like, I do not care. And then in Endgame, he was like,
I won that in the end,
right? And then in Endgame, he called him Clint because he was handing him the Infinity Gauntlet. Like it was.
If I were Black Panther, I still wouldn't care about Clint.
That. Wait, you're the only person that noticed that. Wait, what?
Or like when in Civil War, when Captain America asked Spider-Man where he's from, and Spider-Man says Queens. Captain America calls them Queens all the way through Endgame.
Cool.
Because he doesn't know that his name was Spider-Man.
Wow, that really makes up for the story.
I'm like, I think Winter Soldier was like a better scaled down Civil War.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm just unsure where the disconnect is between disliking Civil War that much and then putting Winter Soldier on top, because I will put Winter Soldier above Civil War. I will do that. I think Winter Soldier is a better scale down
obviously.
Civil War.
Well,
but
I think Winter Soldier is the best MCU movie.
But I still think it has that same level of storytelling and aesthetic.
Well, for me, so here's the thing, right? For me, at least, like Winter Soldier is also, in addition to everything it does plot wise for like it obviously destroys Shield, right? And it builds the whole thing going forward. It also is and this is the thing too, right? Winter Soldier sets up Civil War because it's the first time that Captain America distrusts the government, right? Like it builds that ideology. It's like, oh wow, this government institution that was built on good and wanting to serve got corrupt real fucking fast.
I'm literally named after a corrupt government.
And you see in like Age of Ultron where him and Tony like have that brief little skirmish before Vision is like, I exist.
Rip the fucking log.
Yeah. So there was So between that and then
But and just this is my thing. Is like. It pays off and it works in a lot of ways. It does set up Infinity War. I just think that maybe I'm biased because I haven't read the comic, but I know what the comic is, and the comic story is way more interesting to me, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where it's literally a dividing line between the superheroes of, oh, do I publicly reveal who I am or do I not, right? And it's like, what is the repercussions of that politically in my life? I feel like Civil War was literally just killed my parents. I was brainwashed. I don't care. You're gonna pay.
Wait, you knew? I knew the whole time, but I didn't want to tell you because it would destroy you. Fuck you! You're dead to me.
It's literally just talk to each other and sort it out.
So that is something that I do not like the interaction between Cap and Iron Man towards the end of that. When Iron Man's like, you knew? Captain's like, yeah, but I didn't want to risk, your mental health or Bucky's life. I wish that it was a little more than that. I think
what scaled that, and I think that's why Zemo was so good too, is because they're like, hey, these accords are causing a big political rift, and then Zemo's like,
my time to shine, baby.
What if I throw Bucky in here and cause him to kill a political leader? And with the Sokovian Accords on top of everything, that won't cause a divide or anything.
The movie's, once you get outside of the issues of Cap and Iron Man, the movie's great. I will say that.
But I think I will stand with Logan on this, on the whole, like, suddenly out of nowhere, Steve's just like, oh, my bad, on like a letter, and then he gives them this like fucking burner phone, and then I'm just like, like you could tell they're divided, but if they had even if they like didn't bring up that point and were just like, fuck. And it's weird too, because he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgive you, hopefully we can make this work, as he's breaking out his friends.
I think
Tony put in there.
I guess ultimately my issue is I feel like Civil War is a story that requires and has the gravitas of Infinity War.
I was gonna say, I think Civil War would have better justice done if it was like the end. I
think it would have been better as an Avengers movie, where they would have literally paid it off and gave it like a two movie arc.
I think I know where your struggle is, Logan, and I completely agree with you, because I'm going to bring out the book in just a second, and then
it's one of the most beloved Marvel comics.
Yeah, fucking Spider-Man revealing himself as Peter Parker. Oh,
Susan Storm leaving a divorce note, right? Sue Storm literally in the middle of the night writes a letter to Reed Richards saying, I can't do this anymore. I disagree with you too hard. I'm leaving you and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Literally destroying Marvel's first family, as they're called.
And then Fox did it twice.
3 times.
3 times, you're right. 3 times.
But they're coming home,
baby, got him.
They're coming home, baby. John Krasinski.
Woo! All right. And Emily Blunt. I want them both.
Emily Blunt. Oh, kind of
There's
bad.
All right,
okay.
all
There's
right.
there's not a good panel here to show it, but like if you, and I'm not just because there's not one singular panel that can pop up to really show like how large of a scale it was, and like also part of it is like rights to the characters and things like that. But you had like you had the X-Men, you had the Fantastic Four, you had like you had the Avengers, you had the Defenders, like Daredevil was in on this, and like there was just the scale of the characters that they used plus villains, because they send villains to
that's right yeah,
and it was called like the superhero niche, but like just the number of people they could work with, because it's a comic book and people are like, oh, if you get it makes sense. And a lot of people were like, that was a Civil War in the comics. In the movie, the Civil War is like 12 people fighting in a parking lot.
An airport, actually, but yeah.
Airport.
Joking while they do.
But so here's what I don't like about Civil War. One of the only things that
I'm not cooking for you tonight. Ha!
One of the only things I don't like.
She never said that.
Basically,
She never said that.
Viz, we're arguing. This is a quarrel.
I really don't like the use of Spider-Man in that movie.
I agree.
So my favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. Like I absolutely love Spider-Man.
Fuck.
But
okay.
literally simp. But my
my
Peter Parker played such an important role in the comic because he was like he basically went de facto off of he was on what? He was on Cap's team at first, right?
And
then he went over to Tony
at a press conference, like, boom, mask
Peter
off,
Parker,
mask off.
Yeah, and everybody was like, whoa. And it's a kid. He was still a teenager, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
At that point, like,
yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of excited for the third Spider-Man movie, because Mysterio fucking outed this man.
Oh my god, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Can we talk about Zemo and Quentin Beck, these men with no powers who are just bringing down these heroes with their big brain moves and their POG
brains over brawns, baby.
Plans. Yes.
Baron Zemo and Quentin Beck are the only villains that have 100% run the Avengers or any
Thanos.
superhero.
Thanos
got snapped, homie. Everybody's back.
I guess
everything's back to the way it was.
But what
I like Infinity War more than Endgame because Thanos.
100%,
yeah.
Like when I hear him say when I hear Thanos say you should have gone for the head, I'm like, I got hard because I was like, oh, he's gonna win.
That's a really good use of a quip. That's also like, oh, you're fucked now, boy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. All right. I have a couple of favorite lines from that movie because I watched it yesterday, so it's still fresh.
My favorite is "My Nipples" by Drax in Volume 2.
my nipples. My favorite Infinity War quotes are with Thanos when he was talking to Iron Man and he was like, Stark, and Tony's like, you know my name, and he goes, you're not the only one cursed with knowledge. That one fucking got me.
Yeah.
Let me show off my hat real quick.
I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of...
I love that hat.
Oh, no, I have another one you're going to love.
Oh, another hat. Let's talk about... Fucking love that hat, too. Let's fucking go.
I'm a big fan of... Ooh, that's hot. I'm a big fan of...
Superherostuff.com, baby.
Peter
not
Dinklage.
Sponsored.
Yeah, not a hashtag. Peter Dinklage just going, where's the handle? I love that. I love that line so much. I don't know why. It's so funny.
You crazy boy. It could kill you. Ha. Only if it kills me.
That's what killing you
means. I will gush about Infinity War forever, and I will shit on Endgame forever.
I like Endgame only because of the final battle, right? But
yes, Endgame shines in the heroes, right?
Yeah.
But it completely fucks Thanos hard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it was a pre-philosophy major Thanos. That was before he took those classes and was
and that's what upsets me, right? Because they turned Thanos, who is like big philosophy, into Endgame, where he was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you all. I don't give a shit.
I'll shred this universe down to the last atom.
Yeah, like I don't like. That's so
I'm bad because I'm bad.
Right, and now he's like, clearly you guys are ungrateful. Now you deserve to all die. Like that shit's so dumb.
He literally said, "I'm mad that you're mad at me for my direct consequences."
he's like a Yeah, man, I don't know. It's like
that's like when people complain about censorship on social media, and they're like, "Well, no, people are allowed to not like your dog shit opinion. That's not censorship. You're just saying fucked up things."
Yeah, my problem is, oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Titties.
It's okay. We know you're a racist on Twitter.
I will pull up tweets from 2014 right now, and I will prove you right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my god!
I was just heavy conservative back in 2014. I wasn't racist, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to separate.
I was too. It's called deleting the tweets, homie.
Yeah, I don't have the energy to do that.
Nick's face right now.
Oh,
now I tweet about communism.
Yeah. I'd like to think I was, as far as a white man goes, pretty unproblematic in 2014.
I was
pretty. As a white man goes.
Hey there, kids. I was
a white man.
Woke,
no.
What did he do? Nothing. Typical.
Let me tell you something, kids. I was, as they say, pretty woke back then.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I was by any means like woke TM. I was just tweeting stupid shit.
Yes, let's overthrow the means of production.
Oh yeah, not nearly that woke. I was a senior in high school in a very small town. I did not have exposure to anything.
Oh yeah, living in upstate New York where we fly Confederate flags.
Living it up in that county.
Yeah, dude, something like that. Christ.
Cool, literally 2 hours from the Canadian border, and people fly fucking Confederate flags.
Oh my god, it's like imagine flying the second place flag in a team of two, like.
But it's also just like, especially in a war that was North versus South, and you are literally as far north as you can get.
You know what? There was a teacher in our high school. He wasn't a teacher actually. I don't know what he was. I think he was like a hall monitor. I don't know. The short dude. Ooh. I don't remember his name, but he had the southern accent.
Everybody loved. Oh no!
Oh, I forgot you guys like fucking.
Yeah, there was a teacher that was in our class in our school that had a very hot take, and he came into my economics class, my AP micro class, like talking to my teacher, and as he's leaving, he turns back around because somebody asked him about like his opinion on the Civil War. I don't know why. I think they must have known. And he turns around and he goes, "The South should have won, or the South won the war." And then turns around and walks out. Everyone's like,
brother.
Literally, everyone's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And my teacher was like, we're not. Yeah, not again. We're not having him in here again." And I was like,
I mean, they literally lost objectively.
Hard, like not even soft. Like they white flag hard. Like.
I like to stand General Sherman, who burned Atlanta to the ground on his way to the ocean. It's real Sherman. It's real General Sherman simp hours. Like if you're still up.
I love it.
How did we get from fucking Marvel Comics to this?
I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it back.
Yeah.
I was gonna throw something out there, like just to bring it back to DC.
We totally just.
We've just been gushing about Marvel for 30 minutes.
I mean, you edit these podcasts, right? I mean,
not 100%, but if there's anything serious, I will like go through and I will I'll like get rid of it. But most
actually,
of it's
behind me, if you saw me turn around a little bit a while ago, I have the old podcast playing, and you left up when I pulled up the figure I was buying.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah, dude, I do these when I edit these Wednesday nights and they come out Thursday. So
you left that in there for whatever reason. Me pulling up the Pokemon figure that I had bought.
Yeah, dude, it's part of the podcast.
Oh man.
Whichever episode this has no border on it, Tyler. Why is the Hot Takes logo behind
is this episode 1? Look at my angle.
I don't know which one.
Should I keep doing this as Spider-Man?
How often do I wear this fucking flash hat? I'm wearing the flash hat in this one.
Yeah, that's got to be the first episode then. I don't think that's because I recreated the whole thing.
Yeah, because Nicolas Cage and Itachi aren't even on your background.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I know you can't see it, but I can.
Yeah, I can see it kind of. So I have like my angle is still like up top. My background is red and not purple.
Yeah.
And my Lord and Savior Itachi Uchiha is not up on my wall. So.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was you, baby.
Yeah, dude, Nick, I fucking love that thing.
All right.
Where'd you buy that, by the way?
I actually fucking got that at Zoomies. I like saw it in the window, and I'm just like, I was gonna
they
find
sold that at a Zoomies?
They sold that at a Zoomies, and I was gonna get something like that online anyway, and then I saw that, and I'm like, you know what? May as well do it here if it's good enough, and it was good enough. So then I got it at a Zoomies.
It's phenomenal.
So
I think what I might do, I'm not gonna lie, I might frame it with like a large poster like frame if I can find one big enough. And I want to put LED lights like on like the border of it so it'll like pop.
Oh, let's go.
Because it's kind of dark. You can't really see it that well. You can only see him doing like the. I'm not gonna do it full time. But anyway,
DC, and I feel bad for DC because I feel like when people start talking about DC, they jump to the Marvel movies, which is what we did. But I think it's important to talk about them because I mean, obviously, I think Marvel and DC should kiss and then fight together. But you know, most people
against Valiant Comics, yes. Fuck those third place losers.
Well, there was a moment. There was a moment where there was a deep fear that Marvel. There was a deep fear that Marvel would buy the rights to DC Comics. That was a real thing that happened. I think last year.
I love Marvel, but I would hate that.
You know what's so funny is how
kill DC's like creative.
What's so funny to me is how broke Marvel was in the 90s when they sold all their fucking characters off.
Oh God.
Oh, you want Ghost Rider?
They wrote dog shit series in the 90s. I don't know if there's a good thing that came out of the 90s.
It was just a rumor about Marvel buying DC.
The only reason Warner Brothers wasn't doing that because Warner Brothers makes other movies. So they weren't ever in danger of going under. But comics in general were very bad. I think DC as well. That was the Kyle Rayner years of Green Lantern.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's where the whole fridge the wife thing phrase came from? I think. You know that there's like a phrase which the phrase came from like the way that some comic book writers like use female characters as just a grieving tool for like the buff male hero. It was called like fridging the wife or something like that.
Oh, fridging the wife. Yes.
Or fridging the girlfriend.
Hey, Nick, can you reset your camera?
Yeah, it came from a 90s comic.
Yes, you're right. No, Nick, I know what you're talking about. I heard about I do remember hearing about this. So, when someone's wife was just killed and put into a fridge. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler, how am I now?
You're good.
Okay, cool. If it happens again, I might low-key just switch to my phone.
Okay.
I think it's on Tyler's end, though. It's not happening for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think so. My problem. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. I can continue later.
But I mean, I'll reinstate my stance. I think DC is capable of it, and like their movies generate money and they generate audiences and attention. Maybe not
people like these characters.
Yeah. I think that they should reboot the universe and start it off of Aquaman.
So here's my thing, right? I think DC. So yeah. Let's talk about like realistic where we're at, right?
Yeah.
I think DC had a pretty solid run the last like 2 to 3 years.
Actually, I changed my stance, by the way. I'll tell you my take after.
Okay.
Because so what came out? So we had Justice League, which was pretty bad.
For a while, I was like, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are going to save the DCCU. Because I was not interested in any of the movies they were putting out. I was like, this is fun, but it's forgettable for me. Yeah. And then the first Wonder Woman and Aquaman like kind of came out. And like Aquaman I have some criticisms about it, but like
it was fun.
But it was fun. And honestly, Wonder Woman came out, and I was like, this is what I'm saying with the whole Zack Snyder thing. I'm like, I feel like everyone's focusing on Batman and Zack Snyder. And I'm like, they have so many great opportunities, and they have such a fantastic pool of resources and characters and writing teams to use. And I feel like everyone, like including a lot of the fans, are like, let Zack Snyder release this Snyder cut. And I'm like, I'm excited for the Snyder cut, but also like, oh really? Well, yeah.
For me, it's hey Billy, your dog died, and then 6 months later, hey Billy, we're gonna dig up your dog and try and bring him back with we're gonna fucking clear the fucking corpse.
Shit, I didn't think of it like that, and now you're right.
And it's even worse, right? Because they're like, oh, well, you know what? Instead of just trying to bring it back to life, we're going to put in cybernetic parts and change half of it because we think we can make it better this time.
Oh shit.
Well, no, Cyborg's off of the Justice League movies now because him and Joss Whedon
Joss
had like a
Whedon.
big disagreement.
I was just
Well,
going
no,
off about this.
Because Cyborg was trying to out him, right? Because they were like, yeah, they treated me very poorly because I'm.
The more I
Basically-
hear about Joss
basically-
Whedon,
Is that he's a
the
piece
more
of
I
shit.
don't like. Yeah, the more I don't like him.
Yeah.
The more I hear about Joss Whedon, the more I'm like,
I started-
you had like
You fucker.
you had like early 2000s feminism,
Yeah.
which was like subpar at best, but you were putting stuff on TV and representation that maybe wasn't normally put on TV.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
it's
like the reboot
2021.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
But even then,
And-
men had to save her sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I've
now
never seen
it's-
Buffy. Is that true?
Big Buffy. I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer a lot as a kid.
I like.
I've heard
Buffy was
it's good. I just never got around.
It
to
is.
seeing
It's very good, but
Buffy's
it's
very good. Yeah.
it's still problematic in its own right sometimes.
There's some dated stuff, but
Yeah.
like everyone still
mean,
loves Friends.
I
and,
will say
you know.
though, the first Avengers.
She does bang a vampire with frosted tips though, so like that's big.
Wait, what tip was frosted?
Every tip,
Big if true.
Ah.
big if true.
The first Avengers I liked. I thought it was good. I think
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of it was attributed to the writers and the actors and things
I
like
will
that. Not
say,
just Joss,
go
but-
back. I watched it like a year ago. It's dated
Is it?
for a 2012 movie. It's dated, my
Yeah.
guy.
I actually still like it. I thought
Well, I
I
mean,
thought
story
Age of-
story wise, it's fine, but the CGI is rough.
I started
yeah.
started watching.
yes.
I haven't seen Age of Ultron in a while, but I know that the second that I started getting not pissed off, but disappointed in Joss Whedon's choices was with Age of Ultron when he was trying.
Oh, he
like,
did. Oh, that's right. He did Ultron too.
Yeah,
I
he
forgot
was
about
trying to
that.
like
Mhm.
He was
force.
the guy before the Russo brothers.
Yeah, he was trying to force down our throats the fucking Natasha and Bruce relationship
Oh god.
when it was so unnecessary. You know who
Never-
you know who I wish got together?
Mm.
Natasha and Cap. I wish that Steve got a little bit of that.
No,
I
no.
low key
That's way too
appreciate
brother
their.
sister for me.
I low key
Oh,
appreciate.
I love
their
where they're at
platonic
right now,
relationship.
but like,
I'm gonna say this. I'm
I
gonna say
do wish
this.
you got some on the side sometimes.
Solid platonic friendships between male and female big characters are too rare.
Yeah.
They're way
Yeah,
too rare.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's a
So I think
normal.
for the
Because
sake of
people like me
normal-
want to see him bang.
normal humans don't fuck every female they see, right? Like,
I was like petrified of Winter Soldier because I was like, they're gonna make Buck and Nat a thing. No, not Buck and Nat, a Cap and Nat a thing, and then they didn't, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. That was
instead-
fantastic,
instead
like
he fucked his
character
own
writing.
niece.
Yeah, and instead he fucked his fucking niece.
His own niece.
Yeah, Cap's gotta get out of the Carter family.
Yeah, that's what kind of gets. That's what that kind of
I
gets
mean,
me too.
have
That,
you seen Haley Atwell though?
that's what bugs.
Oh.
So this is what bugs me with Endgame.
I would like to confirm that statement to its utmost credibility.
That's what bugs me with Endgame is
I
because
approve. That's what I'm
he's
saying.
like, oh, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna
I'd go back for
love
that.
this
I'd go
woman.
back for that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and love, but it's like, homie, you are in too deep. You
Oh,
fucked
ready
with
for-
the family.
are you ready for
Guys,
me to break
we're-
your hearts? Did you know that originally in Endgame, old Cap was going to be Stan Lee, confirming that every cameo was Captain America in the past visiting important moments, making sure they played out right.
That hurts.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he
That would
fit.
have been dope.
He had his last in movie.
Was Captain Marvel.
It was Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I love that cameo because do you know what he's doing in that cameo?
Oh, he was it was with
It's-
fucking
I've seen it twice. I don't remember.
oh my god.
He's reading a script for a movie.
Yes, it was
Mallrats.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
Kevin Smith.
Oh, that's
Mallrats.
right.
Mallrats.
Yeah.
He's reading he's reading the script for his cameo in Mallrats, an actual movie that was filmed during Captain Marvel. Yeah,
That's
I love that.
super funny.
It's so good. I love that.
I
So
Shit, we're talking about Marvel again.
damn it. It's because
All right.
DC's just it's not good enough to talk about.
I just
Dark
think
Side
that
is okay. What the
Dark
fuck,
Side
Tyler?
is.
Tyler.
I'm gonna just turn the camera on again, just in case. Just you know.
Yeah,
concern.
just a hard refresh.
Um,
Hard refresh.
I just think, and like with the Injustice stuff too, like DC, like I mean, it all depends on the writers, but I think just on a baseline, like just with comics in general, it just depends on who's writing at the time. But like I think consistently, like DC has the comics based down as does Marvel, but like they got the animation side of it. Like DC animation is just so good. And if this were the animation game, Marvel would be bankrupt by now, and DC would have bought.
Have you guys seen the Killing Joke?
Yeah,
the animated movie. I loved it.
Probably.
The second half was fantastic. The first half was like really weird, and there was that Batgirl, Batman stuff, and I was just like,
they had to fill time. None of that's in the graphic novel. None of that's in the graphic novel at all.
I know that, but like, why did they do that? I don't know.
Because the actual story isn't 90 minutes long.
What I want is because
Batgirl had to get that bat dick.
There's a comic series about, I think it was called the Bat Who Laughs, where it was
the Batman who laughed. Are we talking Dark Knight's Metal right now?
Yeah, dude. What?
Sorry.
So there's to rip his shirt off, like.
So there's a comic run of him going in and like fucking up like Joker and Batman and like getting them all to like.
This is literally something that would take literally 3 hours to describe the entire Dark Knight's Metal story.
It's
but
so good, though. It's so good.
Basically, they started this whole thing called the Dark Multiverse, and in this Dark Multiverse, so you have the regular multiverse, Infinite Worlds, whatever. You have the Dark Multiverse, Infinite Bad Worlds, right? And in this in the Dark Multiverse, you have the Batmen who are like evil. So essentially, they have one for every member of the Justice League. There's the Batman who laughs, who is the leader. He is a Batman who becomes Joker-fied, and in his world kills all the heroes or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You have one that's the Green Lantern, where Batman gets the Green Lantern and becomes evil. You have one the Devastator, where he gets the power of Ares and becomes evil and takes over. One where he gets the power of Superman. Red Death, which is the Flash. He gets the power of the Flash.
Red Death is sick.
Red Death is cool. Cyborg, it's so fucking good. But Dark Knight's Metal has literally been like a 4-year storyline in DC Comics currently. It's still going on technically.
Yeah. The Drowned is Batman and Aquaman,
yes.
or Aquaman.
Well, gender swapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a female Batman, but who stole Aquaman's power.
The Green Lantern one's called Dawnbreaker.
Cried a river and drowned the whole world. What's up?
The Green Lantern one's called Dawnbreaker. And then,
I have the Funko Pop of that one. I don't know where it is though.
Nice.
The Merciless is with Wonder Woman. No, yes. Ares.
Is he called the Devastator though?
No, he's called the Merciless.
This is one of my favorite Funko Pops, by the way.
Oh, good shit.
The Batman Beyond costume is one of like
I fuck with Batman Beyond, dude.
Best designed Batman costume.
Terry McGinnis is amazing.
So good. I will say the DC Universe Infinite app, the streaming app, totally worth it. Awful.
Batman.
I'm a big fan.
You said you were thinking the Devastator was with Ares, Logan?
Yeah.
The Devastator is Batman with the Doomsday Virus.
Hold on.
Oh, God damn it! Here we go again.
Is who?
It's Batman with the Doomsday Virus.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, and then the Murder Machine.
Batman with that Doomsday dumper.
You know, the Doomsday fucking dumpy. The Murder Machine is with Hello. I'm trying to.
I've read a lot of. I've read a lot of the Dark Knight stuff that's been, or Dark Knight's Metal that's come out.
Oh, okay. So the Murder Machine is just like Batman with like
Cyborg, yeah,
Cyborg, and he's like, crazy. Sorry,
that was a really cool comic line. Hope to see that someday in film or animation.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But so I wanted to bring up a long time ago, where I really think the DC universe hit something special in film and and it should keep going on it is Shazam.
Yeah, I haven't seen Shazam, but I heard great things about it.
So
we're watching that. We're watching that in the next couple days. I don't care.
Okay.
Shazam was
fucking
one of those precious little gems. Shazam was the friend. Shazam was the embodiment of a DC movie where it was like you had that one summer job and there was that guy that you just clicked with, or that person you clicked with so fucking well. So fucking well. Like, you guys just got along on everything. You were on the same wavelength. It was fantastic. And you haven't really seen him in person in some time. And he's not necessarily like all over the place on social media. He doesn't post a lot. Every now and then you check in on him and you guys click off like, all that time hadn't passed, It's like all those years of not speaking hadn't been there, and you get back and you're right where you're at. And that's where I feel like Shazam is. Not someone that like really broke the mold, but someone that took that mold and put a really fucking pretty coat of paint on it.
Yeah.
And was like, hey,
this is pretty good.
Comics are fun. Comics should be fun. And in some extents, again, like I said, it didn't break the mold, but I don't think every movie has to do that.
Exactly.
I think
sometimes you just need a fun, stupid little story.
So
so Shazam breaks the mold just by being really good, right? They don't change it, right? But their unique piece is just like, oh yeah, we just really nailed the core fundamental.
Yeah.
Of this idea. Yeah.
My thing is I and I hate to say this, but I am very excited for the new Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn made.
Well, no, what do you mean hate to say? James Gunn's fucking made it, dude.
And I think that if they want to make a DCCU, they should I wanted to see them play it off of Suicide Squad that James Gunn makes.
That's one of the things, too, is like, what was just so sad about the first movie is Suicide Squad is very fucking popular. People fucking love Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say where I think DC has made a comeback, right? The three movies are Aquaman, Shazam, and then did you guys see the Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey movie?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good.
Like that.
For DC standards, yeah, that was good.
You and fucking McGregor.
Yeah, it was a good one. And I think that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't like Birds of Prey and Shazam were like two just very solid movies that knew what they were doing and had a good sense of direction. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be hurt if like they didn't do like some weird continuity to a big giant comic book event, because what I found in my like own reading experience is that when a comic, like if Marvel or DC does this big event publishing thing and all the other stories are like built as a side piece to like that one event, it gets riskier in terms of storytelling, in terms of whether or not it's good. Because like they'll be like, oh, the storytelling gets shifted to this one big thing. Sometimes it works really well. And I think the MCU is a good indication of that. Doing it all the time, I don't know. And that's why I like this weird, because DC does such a good job with multiverse and just like these like isolated stories. And like I think Logan mentioned, like you don't really need a lot of exposition with some of these characters.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. Yeah, that's true.
You're like, you can just like some of the best stories are the ones that are like, you know their story, you know the details. If you don't know their story, that's not necessarily too important right now. We're just going to get into this particular piece.
Well, and part of that is because the X-Men timeline is so fucking crazy. You have to like do a bump of coke before you understand it.
Dear.
And they literally just said with Logan, like, fuck it. Hey, assume it's 40 years later.
Oh my God. Yeah, Logan's just like, hey, this is where it's at. This is where oh my God. Okay.
Oh, fuck it. We're 40 years in the future.
They're making comics about us.
Logan.
Yes.
I'm putting it above The Dark Knight. I think
Logan's a very good movie.
Not by much.
I will say this. I cried in the theater at the end of Logan.
I fuck heavy with Logan.
Bro, if I just hear the Johnny Cash cover of Hurt, I start crying.
I think the only reason
myself today. That was such a good trailer.
So good.
Because it's
the
just
trailer gets me going too.
The themes are so fucking strong in that movie.
Yeah.
The theme, right? It's this whole idea of like, because you know what it does? You know what it does so well? It plays on what we've been watching for fucking 20 years, right? It's like we've been watching the X-Men movie since 2001, and they know this. and they're like, oh yeah, Logan and Xavier have a father-son dynamic, and Logan has always been kind of a shitty son to the adoptive father of Xavier, but now he's going to be a shitty father to the girl. Oh, I'm gonna cry. And it's just the fact that Xavier, the last thing Xavier sees is a clone of his adoptive son killing him.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know the difference. He might. I hope he doesn't.
Because he's a lot. Well, I hope he does because he's a lot younger, right?
Yeah.
I hope he's like, oh, what's going on here? But he was an old man with dementia, basically, right? Like he was, and he just sees his adoptive son killing him. Oh,
yeah, hurts, man. Feels
it
bad, man.
really fucking that movie played on everything that every X-Men fan felt who has been watching those movies.
Yeah,
it was so good. It was a western, but it was like X-Men.
Yeah, I normally don't like westerns, but like that was good.
Really?
Yeah, on average, like isolated instance, like The Mandalorian and I love Logan.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2?
I have not played Root and Toot and Cowboy Shoot. I have not played that yet.
I would
probably like it.
Play Red Dead 2, you will cry. I promise you.
Oh shit.
I got about 20 minutes into it and I couldn't finish.
Did you know Heath Ledger was only in the dark? What's up?
I'm sorry. What was that, Tyler?
Nothing. We can talk about it later.
Can we kill
Heath Ledger what?
Was only in The Dark Knight for like half an hour.
That makes sense when you say it, but I don't like it.
Right?
And that's what upsets me too, right? Is like, I love Heath Ledger.
Tell me this, Batman. Why? Why was I barely in the film? Because you know why, right?
Where's my screen time?
You add the Joker to the society that we live in, and everyone loses their minds.
Huh? You know where my screen time is? Where's my screen time? Anyway,
I raise the blade in my mouth and I go.
Anyway,
let's put a smile on that face.
We are at an hour and 41 with
your point being with no end in sight, baby. Like
we're
going to the moon.
We could keep going if you want. Nick, how much longer do you have?
Oh, I've got all. I've got all.
5-hour podcast. Let's go.
I'm just saying. I feel bad for you because I feel like. I feel like there's a strength and a weakness to like these natural side tangents because I think all of the points we made had value to the overall question, but I also think we also went on a side tangent. I can tell about. Wish we focused a little more on DC.
Well, no, that's so. This is what this podcast happens, right? We start at a base question and then we kind of go on a riff and like a big tangent
wherever it goes.
Well, we go on a big tangent, but we never really answer the question, right? And I recognize that.
I'll do it right. I kind of like that.
No, I kind of like that it happens. Like the last episode of the podcast, we started talking about like relationships, and somehow we landed on abolishing religion. Like, how did we get there?
Oh god, the last episode was wild.
How did we get there?
I haven't watched the last episode yet.
Watch it. It was fucking wild.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch that.
Literally not even a topic we planned for. But so it's like I said, right? When I started, I said short answer, yes, they can. But that's boring. That's boring to just say that, right? Objectively, they could, obviously, right? They can do whatever the fuck they want. But like subjectively though, it's all in how they do it. It's all in what they do. It's all in what they prioritize, right? It's what like are they gonna it's all in what people want out of superhero movies, right? Do they want challenge? Do they want fulfillment? I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that myself.
That's a really good point.
You know, some people when they watch I will say this about the MCU, right? Some of the movies are very just kind of bland. Yeah. They don't make you think about the world.
Iron Man 2? Iron Man 2 anybody? And I like Iron Man 2.
I want a bird.
But
but some of the movies, right? But a lot of the movies don't really make you think. They don't make you reconsider your worldview. They don't make you think philosophically about life and death, really. That you're just there you're just on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're on the roller coaster like, ooh, wee. You know, it's a very good roller coaster. It's a very good roller coaster. But as soon as you get off it, you're not like, wow, that roller coaster. You're just like, okay, on to the next thing.
So,
where I feel like Dark Knight, I think about Dark Knight randomly in the shower. I'm like, what does society mean? Like, you know, I feel like sometimes DC has tried,
I think
even in Batman v Superman, has tried to like tackle bigger issues.
So,
and maybe
I have not thought about Batman versus Superman since.
Here's my thing, right? Is like
there are good parts of that movie. Damn it,
there are good parts. I just haven't thought about them.
Why'd you say that name?
I'm gonna say this right here. I've said this before to people personally. I think the most Batman thing that has ever been on screen ever is in that movie, which is Batman running headfirst into towers collapsing to save people while two gods are fighting. That is the most Batman thing I have ever seen filmed in live action. Put to screen ever.
I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh my god, he was great. He was good. I thought he was
He just
amazing.
Got shafted by everything around him.
Okay, I'm gonna try leaving and going on my phone. Let me see if this
okay.
Works. I'm seeing myself get a little.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like
and subscribe to the video if you're watching this far. Make sure to follow and subscribe on any podcast.
If you made it this far, I love you. You're gonna help our viewer retention. Thank you.
Yeah.
You
gotta pull
or listened. I want to give our audio listeners a plug because I felt like last week I did a lot of visual gags and that probably left audio listeners a little confused. Like when I make the I'm making piss joke and then I chug water.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
The audio listeners can't see that bit, so I feel bad.
Does it gonna work?
I hear. Hey, what's up, buddy?
We got Nick with the bars.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go. You should go landscape. I see you have portrait mode right now.
Yeah, I'm using my phone now because it turns out I got that iPhone 12 now.
Big money spender.
I will say the actual camera quality is a little better.
Look at that! Just started with this. Should have started with this, but it won't.
But yeah, I
could still pretend I'm like actually listening.
There it is. Yes, yeah. Wait. Can you hear us? Oh, yes, I can hear you. Yeah, no. Okay.
Is the video delayed from the audio for you, Logan? For Nick?
Nick, talk.
I am talking.
Not for me, no.
Yeah. Same.
Nick, here,
me too.
Nick, here, go. 1, 2, 3, 4 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No delay at all for me. Oh, this motherfucker can count.
Boy, I got numbers.
All right, hold on. I'll be back. I'll be back in a minute.
Fingers.
Sorry, I went to the wrong one.
I will flex on people who can't count up to 10, though. I will cyberbully.
I will. Oh, you're gonna make me cyberbully.
I will cyberbully.
Fuck.
Just if you're a kid and can't count to 10, I will cyberbully you.
But yeah, I just think like, fuck, where were we at with DC? No, I think anything. I think honestly, anything's possible. The hot rumor, Nick, if you haven't heard this, is that they're gonna use the Flash movie to reset everything.
Oh, like what? There's a
Flash. They're gonna do Flashpoint.
Oh, thank God, dude. I love Flashpoint.
Bro, I cannot watch the animated movie without crying. When he hands Bruce the letter, oh my
Barry, do you remember when you went on that date with that one woman and you
Oh, no, let me talk about that meme, right? Okay.
It was me the whole time.
So for those who aren't aware,
you at supersonic speed.
For those who aren't aware, there is a meme where it portrays the reverse Flash's main sworn enemy, who wears a yellow costume instead of a red one, as saying,
"Remember when you were making out with your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Barry. I jerked you off at super speed so it'd seem like you nutted at just a woman's touch."
So, the thing is, right, that's a funny joke, But it's even funnier when you understand the character of Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash.
he would definitely fucking
that
do
is something he would fucking,
would fucking
do.
do that.
That is something he would do. The Reverse Flash is the most petty, bitch-ass villain that ever existed. He literally he exists. His name is Reverse Flash. This man made his name to gas his opponent. This man literally has traveled the time stream because he's overpowered
to fuck with him.
With this man. What was that?
Say it again.
The Flash, the no you Flash.
But I will say this at the same time though. Eobard Thawne is so overpowered he could solo the Justice League.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Flash guy. I like the Flash. I think out of any other character.
Hey, me too, homie.
Yeah, you and me are in the same boat. Here we go again.
The Flash is really I when it comes to superheroes in general, speedsters are so fucking fun to me. I love speedsters.
I think what is it? Crisis on Infinite Earths? Is that the big one? I love that. That's when Barry.
So at the end, Barry to fix the problem, he runs so fast he dies.
He disintegrates himself. Yeah. Or he gets sucked into the Speed Force.
He did it. Yes, he was gone for 20 years in real time. So there is a chunk of people who to them the Flash is Wally West, which also we fucking stand Wally West.
I like Wally West a lot.
We love Wally West.
That's
why, as a matter of fact, that's why in Justice League Unlimited, Wally West is the Flash in that show. Because at the time, Barry Allen was still dead.
Dude, I remember in trivia, someone asking, who is the Flash? And I asked, like, is it like who's currently in the comics, who's in the movie?
Yeah, Jay Garrick, Wally West, Barry Allen.
And I was such like a fucking technical nerd about it. They're like, we don't know. I'm like, what?
So, do you remember how we were talking about in the Big Bang Theory when we're upset because nerds don't talk like that?
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking like that for like 2 hours.
Well, no, but they're like, well, you see, when the flux capacitor time travel Flash Speed Force paradox, like that's the way they tell their jokes. Like we actually make sense. This is what zero pussy does to a motherfucker.
You're starving.
Oh, my boy's hungry. Okay.
I see how it is.
Someone's got to eat.
Eat that pussy.
Yeah, I think. Well, I really think. And this is something about like Wonder Woman. This is a side tangent. When you start your first movie in like the
World War One,
so like the 1910s,
yeah,
and then you have all the other movies in the future. All the stories you could tell in between that just gives you like a fantastic growth to like have all these stories like from that decade, and you don't have to be like, oh, they're not prequels. You could just be like, oh, the stories that build up her character leading up to now.
Have you seen Wonder Woman 1984?
I haven't yet, actually. I heard it's dog shit though. Yeah,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's good. It's not good. I don't know what happened between the writing of the first one and the second one. I think the second one.
They're like,
just
honestly, I get big cyberpunk vibes. It was like, oh, we made The Witcher. We don't have to worry about anything. We're fucking gods. I think Patty Jenkins was like, I did the first Wonder Woman. I'm gonna make a great movie. Who cares? I don't need to worry about quality.
I'm not convinced it was the same Patty Jenkins like directing that. I just like
they swapped her out. No. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but there's like this whole like the first like 20 minutes of that fucking movie just to be like, be honest, and it just cuts to the actual movie. I'm like,
Nick, I want the meme right where it's fucking Pedro Pascal doing the Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's good, and then it's it was 1984, but it can be better, and then it's the first one.
Yeah, I love that template.
That was it. Life is good, but it can be better. He was the best thing about that movie. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I'm going off on a small tangent about some headlines that issues have been publishing.
Maxwell Lord, yeah, of course.
well. So I'm seeing a bunch of headlines like Wonder Woman 1984, like, and this is like a point I want to make in the context to like, can DC like build up their franchise type?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984 generated the most views per minute out of any streaming site. It beat out Pixar's Soul. So, and before I say, and like, you know, there's some issues with those numbers. I feel like not too big of an issue, but like just one worth mentioning. In comparison to Soul, because they were like, oh, they were doing the views based off of minutes. So they were like, oh, you know, Wonder Woman 1984 had like 2.27 billion views of minutes, or billion minutes of views, compared to Soul's 1.6.
But it's a lot longer.
It's close to an hour longer than Soul's. So if you're gonna go off of that, yeah, that makes no shit. Like, it could still beat it out, and it's based on those numbers. It still seems like it beats it out, but like if you're basing it off of minutes, it's not too much. But the point is that it still has the highest number of streams. So maybe it was dog shit, or maybe it wasn't very good. That was also a movie that I liked. I didn't think it was very good, but I liked it.
Which movie?
That being said,
1984.
Okay, thank you.
Have you seen that one yet, Tyler?
No. So I'm a little buzzed, to be honest, and I just kind of went on a mental tangent on my own.
I love that for you.
Oh,
that means you're gonna have a great stream in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's my fault. I
keep it going.
I looked at my cat a lot, actually, and I just kind of stopped thinking about anything. You ever have those days where like you just zone out so hard you stare at your cat?
So, and here's the thing, right? So basically the reason I bring up 1984 is because I think, like, again, as I was saying, I thought DC was on the uptick, right? They come out with Shazam, Aquaman, Birds of Prey. I'm like, damn, 3 solid movies in a row. You know, okay.
All have different themes and like aesthetics, and like they all have their own voice.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm like, oh shit, we're on the uptick here. Here we go. We're coming back, baby. And then 1984 comes out, and I'm like, this is old DC quality. But I guess every movie can't be great, and also it is a sequel, right? It's a sequel that's also a prequel. That's also the problem. Is that at the end of the day, Wonder Woman 1984 can't do anything too interesting because it's in the 80s, right? We have to get to Justice League.
You can't give it real world implications that weren't already told in the stories that were,
which it does have, though, right? That my whole thing is like, at the end of that movie, I'm like, the entire final act, I'm like, how has nobody talked about any of this before? Like, the nukes were almost fucking launched.
Wow, spoiler, homie, I haven't watched it yet.
Don't watch it.
Not a gravity weapon, which has been the theme for a lot of movies as of late. I think in terms of sheer like the attention grab and the viewership, like I agree. Like I I think the quality was done compared to the other movies you mentioned. But you know, looking at that headline, I'm like, oh my god, this is the most amount of, and I think DC with all the movies they want to release, doing it like Marvel released their big movies, and then we're like, okay, we're done, and then a year later, a pandemic hit. Whereas I feel like DC was ready to be like, we got all these movies lined up, and then the pandemic hit, and they're like,
Society. I like Society, man. The Joker.
Here we go.
Big fan.
Guess what, fam? We have HBO Max for you.
Yeah, right. But like, I guess it's clear that like, you know, people are still interested in these movies, and they like these characters, and they like the actors that are playing them, and you know, even I think in terms of like development and production of movies, they need to just get a management team that keeps some consistent scheduling going.
Yeah,
because I think that's weakness. I think their like development and release dates and like their overall plan is a fucking mess. If they just set, you know, if they go, I guess the Matt Reeves direction, I'm just using that as a general term to be like, oh, we're not really following a cinematic universe, we're doing a multiverse thing, and we're telling these individual stories in these own worlds and these own different aesthetics.
I think that would be great.
Yeah, But since they want to be like, oh, don't worry, we're building our own DCCU, and we're gonna tell this story. Like, what have you seen in Marvel? And then they're like, the Flash movie. Yes, I know it's been 7 years since we said it's coming out, but have you considered that we fired half the writing team, or half of the writing team left?
Yeah, and isn't Ezra Miller like almost like fed up with it at this point? He's like, I don't want to be the Flash anymore. This is fucking sickening. I'm gonna look it up. I'm pretty sure Ezra Miller was like donezo with it. Hold on.
Which I wouldn't blame him for, because that whole project has just been a fucking mess. I don't know, like, I couldn't tell you what happened with that. I was very excited, and then all this shit happened. And
23 hours ago, first thing that comes up, Michelle Pfeiffer is willing to play Catwoman and Ezra Miller's The Flash. That would be hot. That'd be spicy.
Okay, yeah, because Michael Keaton was gonna do Batman, maybe. But that's the thing. They keep like, I felt about like the third Spider-Man with like.
Did we talk about this? How we were like nervous about them having all the Spider-Men in the same universe, like in the same movie, just in general, because it would like overtake the film.
I'm like, I was like, they keep releasing stuff, but they keep releasing people trying to be in it, but they're not like, when have they started filming? When is a trailer coming out? Maybe when are they like, what's the actual work? You know that scene in Always Sunny where Frank and Charlie's like, what are we making? It's like, business.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, what are we producing? We're making Cap. That's like the DCCU. Like, okay, we got all these people, but what are we doing?
Yeah,
superhero. But like, when are we coming out with a script? When are we starting filming? We'll film it when we get this movie out.
Yeah.
And I think from a creative writing side, like, you know, you're gonna have ons and offs, and I feel like, you know, even for the MCU, like Phase 1 was pretty wishy-washy with quality. Like, oh, that was a super fun movie. Oh, that was garbage. Oh, that was super fun. Oh, that was garbage. Like, Phase 1, I feel like once Winter Soldier and Guardians came out, like
you were in it. You were in.
Yeah, a clear focus of like, okay, these, like, I really love the first Avenger and like the first Avengers. Like the first Iron Man was like, looking back at it, like, I mean, a 12-year-old kid, like, suit flying around. Like,
that's what happened, right? So I guess how they chose Iron Man was Kevin Feige brought in a bunch of children, like I think between the ages of like 12 and whatever, sat them down, put out the list of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk. Not Hulk, but like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man. Those three, or and I think somebody else, and they were like, which one do you like the most? Like, with no prior knowledge as to who these fucking people are, like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, they were like, which character do you like the most out of these three? And everybody chose Iron Man because of his tech and because of the red and yellow coloring of the suit.
I wonder if like the Transformers movies coming out around that time might have had something to do with it, just in terms of the aesthetic. Because that was like right around the same time. Robots were fucking cool.
Yeah, all the explosions weren't, but the robots were cool. Yeah.
Where is Sam Witwicky? What I've done in base myself. Linkin Park, baby.
1-7. I am shocked at you. And
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said the first Transformers was not a good enough movie to remember the line that Barricade said to Sam when he first met him.
Are you Sam Witwicky?
No, that's in the second one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
The Cube!
Or wait, no, it's not. No. Are you Sam Witwicky 1117? Right? Yeah. Is that the line? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's late. No, that's username late in 217.
Yes.
Barricade is like item 31295.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that the first Transformers was one of Bernie Mac's last performances? The driver don't pick the cars. The cars pick the driver.
He probably fucking died because of the movie. It was dog shit.
Well, no. I mean, he died like 3 years later, but that was like one of the last things he ever did.
He died of a heart attack, right?
No,
Rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
Something.
I used to come home, and this is a very far tangent.
At like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, see the Bernie Mac show
on FX. Yup, I would come home, I would turn on the Bernie Mac show. I'd watch that, and then I would go over to Discovery and watch A Haunting and scare myself to death to not want to go to the basement.
I will say Bernie Mac made me change the channel. The Bernie Mac show made me change the channel. I never watched it.
Really? Oh, I love the Bernie Mac show.
I knew Bernie Mac from his stand-up and from like other tangential.
His stand-up was great too.
His stand-up was solid. Kings of Comedy. Watch the Kings of Comedy tour.
Isn't that with him, Eddie Murphy, Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey, another guy too. Yeah, yeah, solid crew.
Damn.
Now this is the Bernie Mac podcast.
Yeah, we've changed directions now. We are no longer Hot Takes Cold Brews. This is just called Bernie Mac.
Cars don't pick the drivers. Drivers pick drivers don't pick the cars. Cars pick the driver. Okay, hot take on the Transformers franchise.
I think Nick has a couple hot takes on the Transformers.
The Bumblebee movie was one of the best movies in the franchise.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very, very accepted take.
Oh really?
If they had with like the Bumblebee movie, I feel like people would have been more excited for that stuff to continue. But they did that movie far too late after far too many crappy movies. And
have you watched the most recent Transformers with Mark Wahlberg?
I've seen. Is it the Fallen Order? Right, that's the last one.
Well, it's the one with like King Arthur or whatever.
Yeah, I watched one before that.
King Arthur was a fucking Decepticon or some shit.
So pumped about fucking Mark Wahlberg too. I can't stand that.
Have you guys?
Here's my thing.
I love Mark Wahlberg, by the way.
Here's my thing with Mark Wahlberg. So
I love that man.
Here's the middle. Here's the middle take. Because I'm on Nick's side, right? I love Mark Wahlberg's acting. I think he's fucking amazing. But he is
Nick's like, you're not agreeing with me at all.
let me finish. He's a fucking monster. He is a monster that does not deserve what he has. He nearly killed a person one time. Look up that story.
He did nearly kill a person. And
that's hot though.
Tyler, I will say, like you're not in trouble for not knowing the story. Like let's
yeah. I was gonna say yeah. So Nick, if my point makes sense, right? I think he's talented, but I understand that he's an evil motherfucker.
I don't even know if he's that talented. I feel like he always plays Mark Wahlberg, not knowing what's going on in the universe. Mark Wahlberg's supposed to be.
But I mean, are we gonna criticize every actor for that? Then are we gonna go after Leo and Tom Cruise and?
Nick, you know what? No, I'm glad you're here. Actually, Nick, you know why? Because the last episode we talked about cancel culture, and I brought up Chris Pratt, and you were also I had name dropped you hard multiple times about
the pose, Nick.
About how your transition from Chris Pratt is my idol, I love him to death, to Chris Pratt is just a guy who I enjoy, but I don't like love him as much.
That was basically my take too.
I think we had this conversation too.
We did.
I'm trying to be just politically central, because at this point, if you have that platform, you can't be playing this happy-go-lucky guy and having all these people like, hey, can you bring about this? If you have that platform, that's part of the thing. If you have this platform and all these other people are talking about these things that you're doing and that you're expressing, and you're just going to ignore it, and you're going to have other people stand for you, that's kind of cowardly. So that's where I'm upset, and that's where I'm upset with him on that stance. If I've seen him do like charities to help fight cancer and to feed the hungry, and I'm like, that stuff's great, but like if you're not going to bring up the other stuff and you're just going to like pocket veto it, like that's
what I said. I was talking about how you were saying like Chris Pratt tries hard to be every man's every man, but you can't do that now. Like it's hard to walk that line, because it's everybody wants to know everything in terms of where your stance is on things.
My take was, and I don't want to like reiterate the whole thing, but my take was, right, is like, is Chris Pratt probably a problematic conservative? Yes. But he doesn't go around flaunting it, right? He lives his life semi-privately when it comes to that, right? He makes his movies. He works with people. And professionally, even James Gunn, who is a massive liberal, is like he defended James. He defended Chris Pratt. He was like, "Yeah, listen, when I like Chris Pratt, he's a good person. When I work with him, I have no complaints." I personally believe that until he comes out and publicly says a shitty, fucked up thing, we can't go after him. You know, like I'm not saying that, like, yeah, he probably believes in some very fucked up stuff, right? He probably is not a great person deep down, but he has so far not brought it into the public eye, and we can't judge him on that yet. You know, whatever he does behind it closed doors in his home is his business.
His father-in-law's been pretty like good about having some pretty good. At
really?
And I'm referring to Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course.
I was just gonna ask, not Anna Faris, or yeah, okay.
I think with him, I think the stance I took was just like I really enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh my god, and Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and I think especially the second one, like I really love Volume 2, but I think there's enough like in terms of like. I think there's enough people and teams, directors, and people in the writing board who like have openly shared views that I agree with, and I think there's enough of where if there's one person who's just been very private and quiet about it, despite maybe having really problematic and shitty opinions, that I'm still able to enjoy those movies without having remorse. And I think part of media like that is that you don't have to you don't have to unconditionally enjoy something. You can really enjoy something, being like, hey, I really enjoy these movies and I think they have a great vision. I think there's great storytelling. I think there's great performances. However, there's these issues with A, B, C, and D. I'm not gonna if we want to talk about Mel Gibson,
that motherfucker knows how to make a movie, though.
He does. That is also fucking nuts.
Oh no, yeah. So and that's something I've always been a big proponent of, right? Talented people can be terrible. Talented people can be shitty human beings, right? Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, he is the king of pop, but he is a child molester and he's evil. But it is like there are people. I'm sorry.
I know that's like. The only South Park told me about like childhood molestation stuff. I don't know much about those stories beyond that. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I watched a documentary. It doesn't look good. I'll be honest. It's pretty in my own opinion, it's pretty solid that Michael Jackson had some problems. But again, and this is something I've always believed, right? Is like anybody can be good at something. Like you can be a talented musician, you can be a talented writer, you can be a talented actor and still be a bad person. I think we as humans have an instinct where we're like, oh no, good is good, right? But that's not always the case. Typically it's not actually. Typically the opposite. Typically the people who are rich and powerful and talented are awful human beings. Like, a lot of the people who make the things, Harvey Weinstein, I'm going to say it right now. The man signed off on and produced some really good movies, but he's a fucking monster. He's evil. He needs to be put in jail forever. It is what it is. Like, talented people can be bad, and we need to be able to understand that to be able to separate it.
Yeah, I think it just depends on if there's a man who not that people are stretching and making quite the reach. It's there's with some people, there's some evidence, even if they have a private life, they could be into some problematic stuff, and then they don't mention
like Chris Pratt, yeah,
and I think that is the curse of having that fame and you have that platform. I feel like if you do have that platform, you need at some point, you gotta be especially now with the political climate, with everything so blatantly in the air about how fucked up everything was. When before the racism was whispered and now the racism shouted into the void. Just as an example.
They traded in a dog whistle for a megaphone.
Yeah. I think if I'm giving him the most props, I think he's someone you can maybe have a conversation without him blocking you.
Yeah.
And I think to a certain extent, with trying to express viewpoints or challenging like problematic viewpoints, there is an obligation to maybe have that conversation, because if you're just preaching to the choir, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Because these people are, you know,
But
like
do you?
if you're preaching to the choir, all the things, it's like, well, shit, they know. But the point is, you gotta talk, and you gotta challenge, and you gotta deal with how these other people think.
Mhm.
If it's problematic. So I think that maybe someone you can have a conversation with about that.
Do you think that Chris Pratt has a responsibility? Like, do you think that, like, let's say he truly believes like some of the stuff he's been accused of?
I can't
right?
talk right now. I'm making piss.
Do you believe like how he kind of has, or he's part of that what's that one backward church, right? He's part of that one church that's been anti LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here's but here's the thing, right? That's a tangential thing that we know. That's not part of his work, right? At all. So do you think that he owes a responsibility to be woke in his own public life if he's not bringing the other side to it at all? Like, I'm saying like right, like if he just goes to work every day, makes his movies, and then goes home, is there a problem with that, or does he have to speak out? Not defending whatever he believes in, because it's probably bad. But
I will say, like, I will say, and again, my problem is that he has been very consistently non-political.
Yeah,
I personally think that political, and I will give him credit that is also, I think, to some extent applied to the right side as well. I think, when my frustration with him being non-political is because it's been non-political, despite these other things. At the very least, I'd like him to address it, so like we have a clear idea of what's going on. And my issue is, if you're embarrassed to have a opinion about something, you probably should. That's my thing. If you're
that is true, but so
feel guilty about feeling a certain way, and that applies. There might be some exceptions.
Well,
overall, if you're feeling guilty about feeling a certain way, you probably might want to reconsider why you have that opinion.
Well, and to play devil's advocate, right? If you truly, because I do think some conservatives feel this online. To be fair to them, they feel like the majority of the online community is against them, because it is, because they're wrong. But but they do feel that way, right? And at the end of the day, I respect people can believe in what they want. I'm not going to tell somebody to.
Right.
I'm not going to say, hey, fucker, believe this. But, but to follow that conclusion, right, if I'm going to be respectful and honoring, if Chris Pratt is just a guy who entertains me in a movie or a TV show, I honestly, I don't think he owes me, again, unless he's going to take action or take stances. He doesn't owe me what his politics are. But again, if he endorses something, that does change. But if he's gonna be wholesale quiet, if his position is nothing, I'm not gonna tell you anything, I'm not gonna publicly say anything about my politics, it is what it is, then I'm okay with that, myself.
I think in a structure I would be most comfortable is if part one, I boost voices of maybe non-political, but like if I boost the voices of like figures who have opinions and viewpoints that like I agree with and I think are progressive and I think will bring better change. If I hear those voices and I see them, I will kind of serve as a megaphone for those. Like I will like support those and amplify those, rather than maybe downplaying the others. I'll boost the other voices rather than downplaying the like maybe quiet non-political ones.
Yeah.
On top of that, in terms of the energy used to bring down people with problematic viewpoints, I'm going to focus my energy on amplifying the political and non-political viewpoints I agree with, and then criticizing explicitly and attacking the problematic political viewpoints of actual politicians. So basically, the short version of that is I'm going to spend most of my energy shitting on Senator Ted Cruz
I will maybe
fuck Ted
Cruz
So I'll spend most of my energy shitting on Ted Cruz before I maybe shit on an actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because Senator Ted Cruz, being a political figure with political power, is going to have a stronger influence on policy and maybe like cultural climate.
And as a public servant, it's his job to respond. Yeah, see, that's the difference, right? Is where Chris Pratt is just making haha Marvel, haha funny. You know, Ted Cruz is like, this is your job, homie. Your job is to be in this position. So if your take is shit, then we're gonna call you out on it. You know?
Yeah, if he's being, I'll be like fuck you, buddy. So like if there is maybe like an actor, singer, or someone like that like very explicitly is being shitty, for lack of a better phrase, like if you're not a political figure and a political servant and you're having shitty opinions, I'm more likely just to not really serve as an amplifier for those opinions on your platform. Whereas if they're a non-political figure who's not being shitty and is being great and is having great viewpoints, then I will amplify those viewpoints. If there is a political person who is willing to work with people with similar beliefs. Did you see AOC's tweet recently?
Which one?
So
but I do follow her, so probably.
Game songs, right?
Yeah.
And about Robin Hood like limiting.
The one where Ted Cruz like fully agree.
Yeah, and AOC was up and Senator Ted Cruz was like, I agree. And AOC responded with, I will work with Republicans who didn't try to have me killed a few weeks ago, and I will work with Republicans on similar issues. So if we have common ground on a particular issue, I will work with them to amplify that change. If not, then fight that. In the instance of people who try to have me killed, fuck you.
No, I saw that. Also, queen shit. We fucking stand AOC.
Yeah, so I think that example is kind of encompasses where I stand with that as well. Like there is that where I'm like, I'm not going to share that common ground with you even if we do have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my two-part thing. Like if you're not political, if you're a non-political figure that has that platform, I'll amplify the viewpoints I agree with, all the viewpoints I don't with a lot.
Yeah. Well,
I will run you through the fucking ground.
Our main conversation on the last episode was about like people were trying to cancel Chris Pratt, right? And I was saying typically I support cancel culture. I'm for it. But in that instance, I was not about it in that instance because I was like, well, listen, he has not used his position yet, right? He has not done anything terrible yet. Now, if I'm being honest, logically and rationally, yeah, he's probably a chud. He's probably a conservative little chud who thinks horrible things behind closed doors. But he has never used his position to promote that. He has only delivered to us entertainment. Now, I will say, and I'll say this, I'll be like, okay, hey, listen, personally, politically, I don't agree with the man. But again, Chris Pratt's not out here on a soapbox every day, right? He's not out here like gays shouldn't get. He's not saying like terrible things every day. He's not like gays shouldn't get married. You know, he's not out here saying that. He might say it behind closed doors to his wife and his kids or whoever, which is awful. He shouldn't be saying it ever. But as just random fucking people as we are, I'm not going to crucify somebody until I actually have their words to say, right? Like until they actually give me their,
like as well.
I mean, and then there are limits to that, right? Like if he like literally goes to a Klan rally, that is an action. But going to a problematic church, yes, they have issues. Yes, they've done some fucked up shit. But it's like I can't assume. I can't put him on the cross and fucking call him a piece of shit until he literally says I believe this, that, or this.
Can we get some final thoughts? We're rehashing.
I think with when you were saying he's a chud, I think I agree when people are like, remember that Chris thing that came out, like who's the best Chris?
Oh
yeah, I think Chris Pratt is obviously like the one on the bottom in terms of like maybe political knowledge or
Oh,
like
of course, yeah.
sense of hindsight. I don't think he is the most intelligence. The only word that's coming to my head, but just in terms of like
Informed.
before you speak,
Yeah.
or of just like trying to be the funny man every day. I think he's the least politically astute.
Mm-hmm.
And so like whether or not he's like an objectively terrible person is one thing, but I think of the Chris is on the list, I think he's the one that is like having to be held the most accountable because he knows the least amount about this stuff. So I think it's more so from like genuine ignorance rather than explicit like hate. I think a lot of it is ignorance, which he's an adult. He should be held accountable for this, and and people can let him know about that. How did we get to from DC? What were we?
So I'm actually going to call it because we're 2.5 hours into this conversation.
Hey! We have a guest this time. We can go a little bit longer.
Yeah, we're a whole hour over.
No. I'm just saying, like, we can wrap up now, though.
Yeah, and I'd be more than happy to talk to Nick afterwards, but
of course, yeah.
I just don't want people to get lost in.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll just say that, like, I think, as I said in the beginning, I think DC has a path to, well, in terms of becoming the same exact thing as Marvel, no. Just because people don't have that much money, right? People aren't going to invest in another thing that's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I think they can become something very, very close, right? Something very similar, something very ideal. But they have to hit a lot of ideal situations, ideal movies, and ideal shows. I don't think they will. I think they're going to I personally think realistically what will happen is they're going to get into a situation where DC will release a couple movies a year just like Marvel will. They're going to be fun. We're going to enjoy them. Maybe some will be bad, some will be good, but it'll always be kind of like behind a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think in order for DC, if they're going to try and get to the same level that Marvel is at currently, they will need a lot of like luck of the draw type of deals. I think it would have to be a luck of the draw and then a reevaluation of their distribution of their finances for movies.
Yeah.
I think they need to put more time into the writing team. And I think that, their production team needs definitely a solid upgrade. Do I think it's possible? Yeah. Do I think it's realistic? No. But I also think that I don't want to get too much into it. I think that it would be good. I think it would be good for them to do that, but I think they also need to understand their audience. I feel like they're trying to kind of split themselves between like movies for family, but then also like my family's dead. Like, okay, Bruce, we get it, but like, anyway, I think they just need to do those couple of things.
That's all of DC in a nutshell. My family's dead.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think we could get to that same level. I do think they're going to be ever so slightly behind if we're basing it on the same track. I think like, and they're all DC and Marvel have I think been pitted against each other for a very long time like that, and it makes sense that it's done so. Like they're the big two. I think if they really want to capitalize on it, do not do exactly what Marvel did. If anything, figure out, because since they were the first to do it, DC has the advantage to figure out what didn't go well and what are the negative stereotypes of that cinematic universe. And if they can take that and listen to that and be like, all right, that's not what we're going to do, they could potentially make something better. The problem is the opportunity to see what the negative stereotypes and patterns of MCU movies have been when it's not successful. And they've still made David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So I think they just need a fresh new development team that can hold its writers and can listen to its writers, and not do the bullshit that happened to Ray Fisher, so that they keep their actors as well. It's
So,
It is, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that their PR needs to like be redone to good production hell, management hell, and just all these issues with like treating their actors and workers properly and them speaking out about it. I think if they take care of all that and then look at maybe some of the mistakes the MCU's had, I think they'll be in fine shape. Maybe not to the extent that Infinity War game brought that franchise, but definitely well enough where it's like they're not necessarily going to be upset if they're runner-up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Which even be a runner-up. So
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah. Well, anyway, to the listeners, watchers, viewers, whatever you want to call yourselves, I appreciate you watching, listening so far, all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Comment if you disagreed or if you agreed, if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening anywhere else, we appreciate you listening. And we'll catch you next week.
Hell yeah.
Have a good one. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Nick, also, sorry, bad host. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nick. Yeah. Oh, my God. We would never introduce our guest. Thank you.
I introduced Nick a little bit.
Thank you to our first ever guest.
Yes.
First ever guest on the podcast, Nick Papa La Barbara.
I will throw his Twitter in the description. Or
Throw
Logan
his
will.
Twitter out. Some hot takes in there. Yeah. Yes, I will. Yeah. Some very good takes on his Twitter.
Yeah, you'll just have to add it when you post it.
Yeah. I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Very solid Twitter.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you later.